Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Dune Sea, a show all about that galaxy far, far away and beyond. My name's Seth.
And I'm Konnor.
So, another week of Skeleton Crew.
Another week of Skeleton Crew, another week of adventures.
Yes.
Yeah.
And pirate shanties.
Yeah, a little bit of that.
I know.
A little bit of betrayal.
No. A little bit of excitement.
Discovery, perhaps.
And most of all, treasure.
Treasure.
Yes.
Yeah, the treasure planet was finally found, huh? Oh, what's that over there? Hey, you just... Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Sorry for the slight delay. The pirates almost got to me yesterday, along with the hyperspace lanes had a bit of snow on them. So
this is very true.
Little difficult. So
little snowpocalypse action.
Yeah. So we erred on the side of safety. Hope you guys don't mind. And yeah, we're here to talk about Skeleton Crew episode 7. We're going to be in so much trouble. You know the drill. 1 minute review.
I know. I didn't know if maybe we're going to be in so much trouble. I was waiting for something else. I thought maybe you had something real quippy to follow.
You're going to be in so much trouble if you don't give the people your 1 minute review. So hit me.
Okay. So I guess the moral of the story is, I just lost it. This show continues to, I'm thinking it's going one way and then it goes the complete opposite way. And I think that's a great thing. I think the kids are nailing it. I think that everything's kind of falling in place. I cannot believe how much they fit into this tiny little episode, because this was one of the shortest episodes. Mm-hmm. But so much stuff happened, and I felt like we saw lots. It wasn't like, man, what's going on? We're missing stuff left and right. We weren't at all. Mm-hmm. The Jude Law, we'll get to him, but I guess I'm just happy for him because okay, look. His Marvel outing felt like was kind of a flop. I felt like when his Harry Potter outing kind of led to nothing. And it seems like, I guess, no one's watching this show, so maybe it will lead to nothing as well. But I'm excited for him because I think this is actually a really, really cool character.
Am I crazy? What was he in Marvel?
He's Marvel and Captain Marvel. Yeah, I think that was his name. Yeah, exactly. He was in Captain Marvel, and it's... Yeah. So I'm happy for him.
Yeah. He's nailing it. He is nailing it.
So, and he's just showing everybody he's got the chops. You seen Gattaca?
No.
Okay. Yeah. This is just a movie with him.
I just keep thinking about that Christmas movie that my wife and I just watched.
Oh, and I
forget what it's called. It's the one with Jack Black and
The Holiday?
Yeah, The Holiday. Yeah. Well, gosh, why am I forgetting
Cameron Diaz?
Cameron Diaz. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
The one with Cameron Diaz, Jack Black, and Jude Law. It's good.
In high school, people would tell me, you remind me of Jack Black from The Holiday. And I'm like, and that's never stopped.
See, I'm glad you said it, because my wife said while we were watching it, she just started cracking up when Jack Black got on screen. I was like, what's so funny? And she was like, he really does look like Seth.
Yeah. It is my gift. It is my curse. Who am I? I'm Steve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay. My 1 minute review.
Yeah.
Another great episode, maybe my favorite, only rivaled by the Lanupa episode.
Yeah.
This episode, I think more than any, has proven a point I keep trying to make on this show, which is that the length of the episode doesn't matter as long as the pacing is really good. And I know I sound like a broken record. I say it every week, but the pacing is excellent. And in this episode, you're right, one of the shortest episodes, but it didn't feel that way. In fact, while we were doing our reaction, we kept thinking it was going to end at other points.
And it just kept going.
Yeah, and it kept going. Yeah. And so a great testament to the editing, to the writing, is to make a shorter episode feel full.
Always a pleasant surprise when you think cut to black and it's like, oh no, but wait, there's more.
Yeah, right. So that was excellent. Yes, the acting from everybody is good, particularly Jude Law. He's been killing it every episode, but this episode he really shined through in a few specific moments that, of course, we'll talk about. But even from the kids, all of them, and particularly from Wim and Fern, we got really great moments from them, real moments of emotion.
Yeah.
SM33, all the whole cast. Was absolutely crushing it. So another fantastic episode. And I'm so glad we have to wait for the finale to say this for sure. but it has not fallen victim to the curse that all of these shows have had, where they just fall off after episode 5.
Yeah.
So no, the momentum kept going, and the
true.
momentum is at its precipice right now. You know, like we're about to hit that finale.
What a way to end an episode too. That just with the lightsaber activated.
I know.
It's just like, oh my gosh.
Good stuff.
What's going to happen?
It's good stuff.
Yeah.
So, hey, let's check in with the chat. Thank you guys so much for being here. I know it's not the usual Dune time, but it is on the same Dune channel, as we always say every week.
Always.
So, hello there to Baronessa R, as she says there. Hello there from Divided Skywalker.
Wow.
Dualicates. Hey, Sid Winter. Hello there. Skywalker's Academy. Hello there. Heyo from Trent. My cord's blocking a little bit of my chat there. Here now I am revealing the secrets. Baronessa says, and Jod is a total hero now, right? I'm not so sure he's going to get that redemption we all thought he would.
Yeah.
The Mythnercroft. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Yes, and from Johnny G. Yar.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Yamanovic. Shiver me timbers. I'm late to the party. Mm-hmm. Hey, you're not late. We were late by like a whole day.
Yes.
So you're right on time.
No, you're
and
here
Star
for
Wars
the right
Gazer. Hey, hello there. And by the way, we did a little interview with Star Wars Gazer that should be up tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow, as he says there. Go check that out. That was a lot of fun. Chatting with him over there. Mm-hmm. Hello from Scotland, from Cole Cowan, and Undead
Hello.
Caesar says hi all. Thank you guys once again all for being here. Let's keep going. Let's run down this episode, because boy, is there a ton to talk about.
It's true.
So it starts off with, which real quick, I'm going to tee this up now.
Mm-hmm.
So I have some really wild theories that we'll get to later. I think like we're almost there. Like I'm missing something. I need your help. I need help from the folks at home. Like, what am I missing? Because I got some theories. So we'll get to the theories.
Okay.
Here in a little bit. I feel like the guy from Always Sunny. You know, like
with the chart, Charlie. Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. If I wouldn't
smoking that cigarette,
if I wouldn't have gotten sick this week, I was gonna get the whiteboard out and make me a whiteboard.
Oh, okay. Of all your theories, huh?
Yeah, but unfortunately didn't get to it. Mm-hmm. So yeah. Starting out, we have the parents sending out the transmission. Yes. Obvious ET references here.
Yes.
With the security droids only seeing their searchlights and things like that. And sending out something that kind of looks like the ET spaceship. I've seen a lot of people saying that.
Yeah.
So that was really cool, and also very tense scene, right?
Yes, and it's cool to see the parents actually doing something. I know that we keep saying that, but I feel like it's so many 80s movies the parents don't really do anything. We joked in the beginning, Wim, no. Yeah, and then that's it. Then
he picked up his torch and he did. He went out to get things done.
He's a hero.
Yeah.
Yes, and he's tried his best, and I think it's cool that the droids actually do have the set for stun. That they're stunning all the parents and stuff like that. Yeah.
I also thought it was very, just from a structure point of view, opening with a shot of the barrier, very important, because it's been a while since we've seen that.
Yes.
Remembering what it looks like. Mm-hmm. And then once we get there later, we know for sure they're in the right place. I thought that was a smart move. Did it remind you any of Rogue One a little bit? Or like handing off the device that they have to send off?
Oh, yes. Yeah. Well, any kind of tense scene where it's just trying to, pass that baton and everything.
The passing of the baton specifically while they were being chased.
Yeah. Well, I like too that, I've got a bad feeling and they don't get to finish the line. You get shot. So that's a nice little Star Wars nod as well. Star Wars without being Star Wars.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because I feel like that we're really treading into kind of new territory with this show a little bit.
Oh, yeah, 100%. So great scene. Just gets us, I like that we're checking in with parents just enough.
Yes.
Just to know that there's stuff going on here as well. Mm-hmm. I think that they are using that time very efficiently, because that could really bog down this series. But they have so far done just enough to check in. Yep. But then that's all we need. Then we're back to the action.
Parents are supporting characters. That's it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So great stuff. I love that scene. And then right away, we after the title card, we get the crew, the skeleton crew, if you will.
Yes.
In the Onyx Cinder in hyperspace.
Yeah, and they're playing around. They're being kids. Yeah. They're going home.
Right. But Wim's a little sad about that.
He is.
Yeah. I thought too real. You're on maybe a vacation. You're on one of your own adventures, and you want to go home, but you don't want to go home,
Kind of reminded me of ICC a little bit.
Okay,
it's just like, you're having fun. It's like, well, it's time to get back to reality. There's tests to take.
Right. Yeah, because he's got homework. And
he does.
Again, too real. I loved that. Where it was, man, I got to go home. Maybe you had your spring break, but you got to take like the SAT or something when you get home. You got to start studying for that. You got to start studying for finals.
Yeah.
And too real.
Sorry, Wim. Maybe not maybe the Jedi life just isn't for everybody.
Yeah.
It's the whole thing.
I also liked that this is maybe the last time thematically these kids get to be kids, because things get very real for them after this.
Yes.
And it's nice to have that last moment checking in with them where they're still kids. They get to have their kid concerns, but now they're about to have very real concerns here in a couple scenes. I thought that was a really nice way. Melancholy, very real. Like I said, you can think back to moments like that in your own past. And again, shows how great the writing is, because it feels, again, very real. So good stuff. Good stuff. I really liked that. I'm seeing some stuff rolling in the chat. Hey, from Pixel Joker. Hello. I'm not going to say the other part. Hey, the new vid he's got out. Good stuff. Can't wait.
Yes. Excited to see that.
Yes.
When you get your video finished.
Oh my goodness. You guys don't know. He's making a Kenobi edit, and
looks good.
Looks good. From Bill Rooklyn. Saturday at 5 p.m. is great. Your companions as I make lamb stew. Bro, you got any more of that? Because that sounds awesome.
Get lamb stew. Okay.
I'm a big fan of lamb. Love me some lamb. Some good stuff. From Duel the Kates here. Konnor, I can relate to being sick. Babies don't give a warning when they about to sneeze in your face. How true is that? That has been my, my daughter got sick just after Christmas. Me and my wife both caught it. And then it's been about 2 weeks, and I think it mutated in her and gave me sick again. So that, and I get chronic migraines, which is not helpful. Every time I get sick, one of those kicks off, and they are not very fun. From Chris Ivanovic, I feel your pain. I've been sick since New Year's. Credit to you for still putting this together, and I hope you feel 100% soon. Thank you so much, Chris. I appreciate that. And I just noticed the microphone buddies. Yeah, they're pretty fun, huh? Did you not notice the microphone
these guys?
Buddies? Yeah.
Yeah. Have a little.
He's got the dark trooper.
Yeah, a little dark trooper.
I got Leia. Yeah.
Princess Leia.
It's mostly just to hide the logo, if I'm being completely honest. But yeah, there you go. All right, back into it. So we've got the next scene, a pretty cool scene. It's when the pirates arrive to At Attin.
Yeah. I didn't realize that their whole base would go.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
Yeah.
It's like the Death Star.
It is. But I still just was like, that was so jarring to me.
Yeah.
And I was expecting, they'll take a couple ships, because they've just been kind of sending out ships. And then we saw also, they kind of like to hang out on Port Borgo. So that's why I thought maybe that was their base of operations, basically.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
I took Port Borgo to be more like a Tortuga, where it's like that's where all the pirates and the wretched hive of scum and villainy.
Scum and villainy hang out. Yeah.
Yeah. And Brutus and crew are just one of those groups. So that's kind of how I took it, but I didn't realize that their whole base could move either. So that was a fun surprise.
Yes.
And dude, Mick Giacchino crushing it on that pirate theme. That sounded the most John Williams of like all the new themes I think we've heard in Disney Star Wars so far. I'll go out on that limb and say that.
I mean, it does sound like something from Rogue One.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Rogue One kind of plays off of themes we already know. This is a completely new theme that sounds just totally Star Wars. I loved that. Great stuff. Great music. So we also get kind of a bittersweet sort of confirmation about a mystery that we've wondered this whole show, which is that Jod, when they arrive at Attin, says that this planet has been lost for hundreds of years, which kind of unfortunately rules out the old Republic and sort of places At Attin at least within the High Republic timeline.
Yeah.
Not to say it couldn't be around during the old Republic timeline either, but if it's been lost for that long, and they're making the dataries, right, I would have to suspect that this is High Republic era.
High Republic era.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is a little sad. We all kind of hoped this would be the foot in the door to the old Republic, but doesn't look that way anymore.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I mean, hundreds of years. I mean, maybe the legend's been around for hundreds of years before they. I mean, I think that there still could be a window.
Some
that it's
fungibility,
okay.
perhaps.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, they've been making money for a long time.
Right.
Clearly.
Yeah.
So like a long time.
Yeah, I know.
So
it's
I mean, could they really make that much money in 100 years?
A few hundred years. Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They
were mining something.
Sure. I mean, there's still questions to be asked. Yeah. What do you think? They're mining something else?
No, I just like, I said that in the first episode.
You did.
So, and I don't really say that very often.
A little vindication for Seth.
Yeah. I thought they were mining something. Yeah. So anyway, that's all.
So great scene with Jod there being kicked to the airlock with Brutus.
Yes. Right? Very Barbossa, Captain Jack.
Yeah.
Will they, won't they? We're going to leave you on an island.
Right.
No, you're not going to leave me on an island. I'm going to leave you on an island. That sort of thing. I'm going to put you out in airlock.
I just loved that he kept trying to, the performance is great where he's trying to come up with his, new way. Like, wait, I got it.
Yeah.
I got it. Stop.
Yeah, I really liked where it's like, don't you realize if you press that button, you're going to lose the biggest treasure ever. And that guy's like thinking, Brutus is like, if you don't press that button, I'm going to put you in the airlock too. And I'm going to send you both out.
It's so good. And also we get to see that pirate lady. Mm-hmm. She has clearly loyalties for Jod. She lets him out. Yes. She's the one who's like brings up the pirate code in the last episode.
Yeah. And he's the one, like he says later, he's like, hey, the crew really like me. They don't actually like you. So I think there is something to that.
No, the crew loves plunder.
Yeah. But do they?
They actually like me.
Yeah. And I think that there's something to that.
Yeah. 100%. Mm-hmm. So great scene. And then the new ship arrives to At Attin.
True.
Of course.
The Onyx Cinder.
Yes. The Onyx Cinder. So the kids arrive and love their little moment together where they're like, oh my gosh, this is what the barrier looks like from the outside. Mm-hmm. And the pirates board the ship.
Yes. Well, they pull.
Yes.
I was going to say.
They pull them with the tractor beam.
Yes. The kids get caught in a tractor beam. And they're pulled onto the ship.
Yeah, much like the Millennium Falcon and A New Hope. Very, very similar.
Very much like that.
And we get, I think, one of the coldest scenes that really shows the mask off for Jod.
Yes.
This is where things really start to snowball in an interesting direction.
Mm-hmm. And using the claw to catch him.
Yeah.
Like that's such a throwaway thing in the third episode.
I know, it's such a good setup payoff moment.
It's true.
So good.
Yeah, where it's like, what are you doing? Don't play on that. It's not a toy. Like, that's all you hear. And it's in the background where that's happening. Oh my gosh. Well,
it's important because I think if they didn't show that and this happened, yeah, it's believable that it's there, but it's like, man, where did they just had that? Okay. Yeah. Like that's a little convenient.
I know people would get mad on YouTube, but you can't get mad on YouTube because like you saw it in a passing moment. And there was even a conversation about how you shouldn't play on it.
Right. I know the writing it's been awesome.
She was so good. Like
why can't they all be like this?
You got me, man.
No, I say that as a joke, but honestly, like not everything can be awesome. If everything was awesome, nothing is awesome. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But this shows just how great these writers are on this show. Like they really thought through every moment so that it felt earned, and nothing just came out of nowhere. Nothing ever happens in this show so far where you're like, okay, I guess I just have to suspend my disbelief and, believe that happens.
Well, we said it feels like A New Hope. And I feel like that George did that with A New Hope, where he slowly built the building blocks of the world. He never did anything too outlandish from what he kind of slowly spoon fed you throughout the movie.
It also makes everything feel intentional. Like you said, that moment in the third episode was very, or fourth episode, I guess.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Maybe.
Whatever.
No,
it's with Kim.
You might be right. Oh, it's Space Owl episode. Your favorite one. I forgot.
It's my favorite episode. That's why I remember it so well.
Yeah, that's right. Sorry. Yeah. So that is the third episode.
Yeah.
Anyway, that feels like, again, such a throwaway moment. But in that moment, you can just be like, oh, that's just a fun little flair that they added. But now it makes you wonder how much of the throwaway moments in the show are going to mean something into the finale, right?
That's true.
So again, great writing. I think that's what great writing is. It's just awesome setups, awesome payoffs.
And I think too that like hiding At Attin in like the maelstrom or whatever, the barrier, and so it looks like a maelstrom, a storm. Like how perfect! It can hide for hundreds of years. No one's going to go in there.
Right? Why
would anybody go in there?
Sure.
Yeah.
Reminded me of Tanalor, actually.
Yeah.
Very similar. Less protected, if you will. Tanalor had this whole, I'm not going to go into it, like this whole thing around it to protect it, but felt very similar.
A barrier, if you will.
A barrier of sorts. Yes. Sure. Yeah. But it was something that felt very similar, I thought.
Yeah.
So great stuff. I loved everything to do with the claw coming down, then with the pirates arriving. And then you get the moment, of course, Jod just executes my boy Brutus.
Yes. You know what I liked about this?
What's that?
So I thought this is another testament to the writing. I thought it was weird that they called him Mad Captain Silvo when they were chasing him on what's the name of the resort planet?
Lanupa.
Yeah, Lanupa. They call him Mad Captain Silvo, and I'm like, that's really weird. How did that? No one has called him that yet. Well, we see why he could earn the nickname Mad Captain Silvo a little bit, that he's willing to just execute his first mate.
Right.
Yes.
And there's a small moment before this that I think is terrific, which is how he removes his cuffs.
Oh, yeah.
Because he waits for the opportune moment.
I mean, again, they're channeling every single pirate ever with Jod, and I love it. Yeah.
Because that's going to add to his mythos, to his crew.
Yeah.
Like, not only did he just execute Brutus, but he could have got out of those cuffs at any time.
Yeah.
I think it's going to create a mythos around him that you're going to want to follow, at least out of fear or respect or both.
Yeah.
Because, if he could have got out of those cuffs at any time, then he could have, it makes it seem like he's in control. And he was in control the entire time.
I mean, he could have gotten out of his cell at any point too.
Yeah.
He just didn't have an exit. But, so again, he's looking for that opportune moment.
And I think in reality, Jod, even though he could have taken those off at any time, he's not strong enough in the Force or anything else to have been able to fight his way out of a situation. But in that moment, he can take out Brutus and he can create fear and respect in his crew.
Yes.
Huge moment. Fantastic. So excellent stuff from that. Let's check in with the chat once again. Protect the owls from Baronessa. I agree. Hashtag protect the owls. Seth is on a crusade. He's going to end all the space owls. Star Wars nerd, hello there. Chekhov's claw, right? That's what I'm saying. Yeah. It's there.
Hopefully there's some other Chekhov's something.
Yeah. I think there's going to be a Chekhov's giant space gun.
Yeah, I've got a couple ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We paid off on one Chekhov's gun, Chekhov's lightsaber this episode, which is great. From Cole, Jod is a masterclass. Hopefully Mando kicks his butt in the last episode. Got to keep things PG over here, Cole. What are you thinking? Chris Yvanovic, it was the gloves are off moment. Yeah, awesome. It was great stuff.
True.
And from Baronessa, so Jod is the ultimate opportunist. Can we say he is a rated R superstar?
So that is a reference to Adam Copeland, also known as Edge, also known as Cope. He's a wrestler.
Oh, yes. WWE reference.
And an AEW reference, really just a reference to the guy all around.
Gotcha.
But yes.
I'm of the uninitiated, so that was lost on me. But I'm glad it was not lost on you.
There you go. But yes, they call him the rated R superstar, the ultimate opportunist. Because if there's something he can take advantage of, he will take it.
Love it.
Yes.
Okay, so then Jod ends this scene in sort of a transitional moment saying, hey, on board, you're going to find 4 scared children. Another small moment, but imagine you're part of the crew and you're like, how does he know that? And then they get on and see that he's right.
Yeah.
Huge moment. And I think it's once again going to inspire more fealty in his crew.
Loyalty.
So he gets on, of course, the kids are there, they get captured and we get Silvo in his helmet again for just a moment.
I want to point out too, did you notice his costume completely changed again?
He's got the jacket.
Well, but he's not wearing any of his old clothes, what he's been wearing since when they got on the Onyx Cinder to begin with. I think that's to trick the audience. I don't really read into that kind of stuff that much, but since we've been watching the episodes a couple times a week, I think they did that on purpose. They made him look like Star-Lord this whole time, giving him a blue shirt with a red jacket, kind of making him look like a hero. It's he's just misunderstood. He's not that bad of a guy. And then it's like, oh no, that was all just a facade. Even the clothes he was wearing is just a facade. I just think it's great. I think that but they got me. Here I am. We've been talking for weeks about, I bet he's just lost his way.
Han Solo with the Force,
exactly. Heart of gold. He's just lost his way. He's Long John Silver. He's not that bad. Anyway,
pretty bad. Yeah. No, it's a good call. I mean, costume design has always done stuff like that in Star Wars. I mean, the most famous example being Luke in Return of the Jedi, the black, but then it peels back to reveal the white, in the final scene.
Yes, so. But I'm just saying that they got me. That here I am thinking that and then he's quickly goes back to his mad Captain Silvo outfit.
Right.
Yeah.
100%. So then we get a very interesting scene with the parents' message.
Yes.
What do you think about that?
I thought it was nice and heartwarming that it's that's cool that's what they sent out there. And I don't know how helpful it would have been if they were still lost in space and they got that message.
Yeah.
Yeah. They did all that they could do.
This is the one part that I'll have to wait and see for the finale, but it feels very much like it was just
a little forced
to give Jod the recognition of their parents. But it also drops a very important piece of lore. So I'm gonna have to wait to see.
Yeah.
It's the first time we hear about the Republic emissaries, which is huge because evidently the Republic emissaries are the only people in the galaxy who are trusted with
bringing the money up and down, or back and forth.
Well, they're trusted with the secret location of At Attin.
Yeah.
And so that's what they say is like, okay, you have to find one of these people. Here's what's weird about this scene and why I say it feels a little strange. Let's say that because security measures, they can't send out the coordinates. Okay, I get that. Whatever. Let's say a nefarious party gets that information. That's still enough information, right? To like find At Attin's secret location.
Maybe. I think it's weird too that I'm like, it's odd that At Attin is still locked in to this time capsule. Because I spoke earlier that like they've been making money for a really long time. I think it's been a long time since someone's actually visited At Attin.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
part of my crackpot theory.
I think your droid theory's got legs. That's all I'm saying. I've been wanting to say it's not Wally, but I think you might be onto something with that because that no human would keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's bizarre, this idea of the Republic emissaries, because again, let's say the pirate crew found this message, but like they never encountered the kids at all.
Yeah.
They hear this message like, oh shoot, Atton's real. We just have to find a Republic emissary.
Yeah.
Now, let's say the Republic emissaries are still a thing. I don't think they are.
Yeah.
I'll get back to that in a minute. Like, let's say the Republic emissaries are still a thing.
Yeah.
Then they just go find
not
them.
with Palpatine.
Well, I don't know. I'll get into that in a second.
Okay. All right.
But the pirate crew could just go find a Republic emissary.
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, I guess the one safety net there is maybe they could call for help and at least get eyes on it before they arrive to At Attin.
Yeah.
Whereas if they just got the coordinates, they could just go straight there. But to me, it seems like not that big of a safety barrier. And I get, sure, the parents are making a huge risk and they might be making a mistake here. And that doesn't mean it's bad writing per se.
Well, that's why the droids too are like, hey, this is why we don't do this.
Right. Yes.
Because there's a procedure to all of this.
It just seems like a flimsy sort of plot element, unless the Republic emissaries are not what we think they are. Right. Okay. So
what's your theory?
I'm going to throw this out there and I'll talk more about it at the end of after we get through the rest of the episode. I wonder if the emissaries were Jedi.
You think so?
I wonder if.
I mean, I guess that could be it. Would they really deal like they were peacekeepers and everything?
Yeah, but they worked. I mean, they were like a branch of the Republic for sure. An emissary. That's a big word. It's not official.
Yeah.
Because if you say a Republic official, that brings to mind like a governor or something like that, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of did they call them Jedi emissaries in Phantom Menace when they first get on the Trade Federation ship? Or no?
No, they were diplomats.
Okay, okay.
Or they said something to that effect. I'm trying to remember the opening crawl of New Hope.
Okay. Anyway.
But there might be something to that,
there could be, yes.
Oh, thank you. Duplicates, I just saw it out of the corner of my eye. They were ambassadors.
Ambassadors, yes. Okay. I was trying to think.
Ambassador?
Yeah.
Like, come on, that's...
Yes. I'm like, I think that like you could... Yeah, those are similar things.
I have more evidence to this theory, but we have to get further into the episode before I can get to it. So, the parents' message also uses the word dataries again.
Yeah.
Right. And I did see a Reddit comment about this that I didn't catch the first time that they were talking about dataries. Qui-Gon uses that word in Phantom Menace.
Does he really?
Yeah. When he's talking to Watto, he's like, I have so many Republic dataries. He pronounces it weird for some reason. He says like dotaries or he pronounces it strange.
Interesting.
But he uses that word. And that's when Watto's like, oh, they're no good out here. You know, something like that. Is that not yeah, I know. But the reason why I think this is significant is because
wait a minute. No. So they were still using them at that point?
Well, Qui-Gon, Phantom Menace is the oldest, of the movies.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm wondering is because maybe he had been around long enough to have seen the dataries before they ever transitioned into whatever they became.
Well, no, they have them because I'm sure that they have them from because she's the queen. They had to have still used them on Naboo, right?
I don't know. See,
because that's how I always took the line is it's not like Qui-Gon's carrying around money.
I know.
Yeah.
Right?
So like they have to have them because of she's the queen.
Duplicate says he says Dactarians, which is close to dataries. I thought that too, but I listened to it a couple times, unless maybe that's what the subtitles say. I guess I didn't look into that, but it just sounds like he's pronouncing datary weird. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. I might be crazy here. Maybe it actually is Dactarians. But it just sounds like he's saying dataries weird. I don't know. But then again, I didn't look at subtitles, so I might say that's subtitles. So this might just be a completely harebrained theory.
Duplicates, did you look at the subtitles? Now I'm like really curious.
Yeah. So I might be crazy. But hey, we'll go up read some more of the chat here while we're checking in.
Okay.
Pixel Joker says, it's interesting to me that the arrival of the emissary of the older public seems like a routine event. I know, except for it hasn't happened in a while.
Clearly, there's vaults and vaults and vaults full of money.
From Samuel, hey guys, glad to catch you live. Hey, glad you're here, Samuel. Miller King, he is an opportunist pirate. Not surprised he could be ruthless just after the just yield moment. I know. Yes, that's see, the just yield moment, I think was
he didn't seem like he wanted to do it.
No, he seemed very on edge.
It seemed like, that he didn't want to hurt her. I mean, he was just willing to, he was just pushing it because he wanted to get his way.
Right.
Yeah.
Whereas here we see a completely different side. And I think the mask comes off once he's in control of his crew.
Yeah.
Do you think the New Republic will show up from Skywalker's Academy? Maybe. I'd be surprised because I don't think At Attin has had any communication with the New Republic.
No one's going to
know. Right. Who would you trust to be an emissary and keep the secret? Had to be a Jedi.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking here. Mr. Wu, hey there. Good amount of people in here. Yes, I know. Thank you guys so much. How many we have in here? I always, it doesn't let me see on there. 43 folks in here. Thanks so much for being here. And should be a Jedi. No, that's true. No attachments, no greed. It's another great point.
Mm-hmm.
And trying to catch up here. Dualicates. My Star Wars special skill is how much of the movies I memorized and just watch the subtitles. Okay, so maybe he does say that.
It's legit. Okay, that's cool.
Maybe that's
all right.
it. Maybe that's
so. There's nothing. You're over here. I try to blow my mind. Nothing.
I'm just saying it sounds like that's what he says. Okay.
All right.
Blame the Reddit comment that I read.
Okay.
So it's a good thing I don't get on there because I don't remember who said it. Okay. So anyway, the next moment after they get the message, which is a very heartwarming moment, the kids take back over the Onyx Cinder in a fantastic moment. Perhaps my favorite moment from the show so far.
Yeah. I
love.
So do you love or hate it?
No, I love it.
Okay.
It's awesome. Do you like it?
Okay. So at first I was like, but I think this is a better way of showing the humanity in a droid than like how L3 did in Solo, if that makes sense.
Sure, yeah.
Cause it's like, or K2SO. Like I felt like this just towed the line perfectly.
Yeah.
That it's just like, it works for me. I don't like you.
Yeah.
So with SM33, that's the whole thing with the take backsies. And what a kid thing to do.
That's why I love it, is because this show has done better than most media I've seen, shown how kids think and kids would talk.
Yeah.
And I love that idea where SM33 is trying to throw him a bone there. Like, hey, actually, Jod, you're not the captain because you're the captain of the frigate.
Yeah.
So you can't lay claim to this ship. And so Wim is about to lay claim to the ship. And then Jod's like, well, screw it. I claim just this ship.
Yeah.
And just that awesome moment. Well, I call it claimsies from Fern. Gosh, that made me laugh out loud. And it was such a great moment. And it doesn't work like that. But it'd be close enough.
Yeah, exactly.
Punches John in the face.
In the face, in which I was kind of hoping that the helmet would have gotten like stuck to his face. So he's like the new, the bad guy always wears a helmet.
But then you wouldn't get that awesome Jude Law acting.
Oh, no,
at the end
I
of the
agree.
Episode.
I agree.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying maybe the helmet could have gotten cracked and like broken around him so you could see just a little bit. Little Tobey Maguire Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Where you could see part of him, but that's okay. It's all good.
It was awesome. One of my favorite, if not my favorite moment from the season. And then just SM33.
Going ham.
Boom, right?
Yeah.
So good.
And then also not showing too much of it. It just like smash cuts to the pirates all laying on the ground. Like he took care of all of them. Yeah.
Yeah. Terrific moment. They get control of the Onyx Cinder. They get pushed off. And I had to watch this closely on my second viewing. So I'm like, how did Jod get back on the ship?
He's like clearly watches it take off.
Yeah. But then when they cut to the other pirates chasing after the ship, he's not there.
Nope.
So I think that he was just next to it.
Yep.
And was able just to grab a hold right before the ship took off. So again, great little moment great. I like that it didn't seem completely out of nowhere, because when I watched it for the first time, I'm like, how did that happen? What in the world? But if you do watch back, you don't see him in that wide shot, which is a nice detail. So then we get a stellar moment where we get to see them go through the barrier, and we get another piece of information from SM33. That'd be Captain Rennod's genius. They stole a ship from their own mint.
Yeah.
And
which, if he's the supervisor, why would he steal a ship?
Who?
Tak Rennod. I don't think Tak Rennod is the supervisor.
Oh, we'll get to that, I guess.
Okay, if you've got it, please.
We're not in the crackpot theory section of the show.
Okay,
yet, so.
all right, okay. More to come then.
Yeah.
All right.
Great. This does raise some questions for me. It's great. It's a great reveal.
Yeah.
Especially with Wim. Like, this isn't a pirate ship. It's an At Attin ship. And all the other ships get blown up by the barrier.
Yeah.
But if this was one of their ships that gets put automatically into an autopilot landing sequence, we see that twice now on the At Attin.
Yeah.
Which is pretty defunct at this point. It still can do that. And here now on At Attin, why was this thing crashed in the middle of nowhere under a bunch of dirt?
It wrecked leaving the barrier.
It wrecked leaving the barrier.
That's what I think.
Ooh. That's a
The
good
droids
thought.
then recovered all the money and put it back and left the bodies.
But why would they leave the ship?
It's an At Attin ship.
But why would they leave it crashed? I think that theory's got legs, but I'm not sure about that part.
Okay.
But I really like the idea that it crashed leaving the barrier. I think that's a really good call.
By maybe a big gun. Yeah.
That's good. I like that. Yeah.
Literally. I just thought of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not in my notes.
That connects some stuff for my crackpot theory later.
Well, there you
We'll
go.
get
Okay,
into.
I'm helping you.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Get a great moment here after that where we arrive through the fog.
Yeah.
And the music starts playing and there's home.
Yeah.
You know? And you get that amazing shot of all the kids in SM-33 where the light is shining on their face. And they made it.
Yeah.
You know, they get a moment of reprieve, a moment to breathe. This is what I mean about the terrific pacing. Gosh, they balance their moments so well because immediately this all gets, it hits the fan.
It goes to hell. I mean, yeah.
It's not good.
Yeah.
So, okay, before we talk about the big old Jod moment, let's check in with you guys once again. This is terrific. I saw this while we were talking from Skywalker Academy. KB has to call Kim. That's how they get to the New Republic. I think either Din, Djarin, or Thrawn is more likely to show up because the planet is in the same sector as Dathomir and Mandalore is close. Do we know that?
Really?
Do we know that? Was that Easter egg from the big map that we saw? Because that's interesting.
I don't have a clue.
It's an interesting detail. So I do think you're onto something with KB has to call Kim because that was set up. Remember at the end of that episode, she's like, hey, you need me.
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
So I think that's a great call. It would really tie everything together too and not make the Space Owl adventure seem kind of random.
Yeah.
I think that would tie everything up really nicely. I think that's a great call. And I think that that's probably likely. It's who shows up is the big question.
Yeah.
At this point, I don't think we get cameos. The showrunners have already said that Hondo's not going to be in the show.
Yeah.
So I don't think that we get a Din Djarin. And I kind of hope they don't at this point. I think the show has...
I think it's cool that it has held my interest this long without anybody.
Yeah.
Carson Teva, he'd be the only one that I would want.
Yeah, someone like that.
Yeah, sure. Just really like connecting it to everything else in the timeline where we're at.
Absolutely.
But I don't need Den. I don't need Thrawn.
Yeah.
No.
Let's let the show stand on its own merit.
Yes.
From Duel of the Kates, Kylo Ren, I claim Luke Skywalker's lightsaber. Duel of the Kates, unclaimsies. Rey unclaimsies.
Pretty much.
That's good stuff. From the Mythnocrofty, I think Tak Rennod stole it from another planet. Yes, I think that is what they're leading us to believe. I'm not 100% sure that.
Well, he clearly, I think he got his hands on Republic emissary.
Right. And then took, oh my gosh, wait a minute.
Took the ship.
And he took their lightsaber.
Maybe.
Because the emissaries are Jedi.
Maybe.
Okay, this might be true. Actually. This might have
Did we help connect all the dots?
You guys are helping me. Babe, work through this. This is great.
He couldn't sleep. This
is it. Literally couldn't. I was telling Seth about that earlier. No, Tak is probably dead by now. It's his concubine, Yaddle's sister. What a theory. I thought my theory was crazy.
Yeah.
From Baronessa, or they crashed by disabling the autopilot. Maybe, but wouldn't SM-33 do the same thing? Or maybe he knows that would make them crash. I'm not sure. Tak was on his way back to At Attin when he was stabbed by his concubine. She hid the ship and became the supervisor. Maybe. I don't know. I got ideas. I have ideas about this. And you guys are really popping off here. I love it. Miller King, they did not see it as an At Attin ship because of the junk armor. So the droids covered it up and hid the ship to pretend it never happened. Oh, the armor puts another interesting wrinkle into this because I think that...
I thought it would be armored up to help it get through the barrier. But clearly it doesn't need the armor to get through the barrier.
I think it was armored to hide it from being an At Attin ship. Because notice once the armor is stripped,
Yeah.
SM-33 is like, oh, look at that. They don't make them like that anymore.
Yeah.
So I don't.
But I thought that that's part of the genius of Tak Rennod to steal one of their ships so they could re-enter the barrier.
Yeah, but I think while they're flying it around and doing their other stuff, that's why it's armored, is so that people don't know what it is.
Yeah.
That would be my guess.
Yeah.
So, man, again, you guys are popping off. This is great. We do see that one pirate that was part of the Gorian Shand, so exactly one cameo. That's true.
That is true.
Vane is in here.
Yes, Vane is in there.
That's true.
I'm hoping that this is pre that, though. It has to be, because doesn't he die? Or does he live?
He escapes. He's the one guy who escapes.
He does. Oh, do you think he then goes
to come to his
hang
show.
out with Brutus?
Sid, you were the great point. This show has felt like Star Wars without the big characters. That's true. That's a tough thing, especially with Star Wars being one of the oldest franchises.
Yes.
It's tough to do, but they're nailing it. They are nailing it.
Yeah.
So, okay, we'll come back to you guys here in a little bit. Once again, you guys are absolutely popping off. I appreciate that. So we get the big Jod moment. You hear him in the back of the ship.
Oh, do we ever?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And SM-33 is like, I'll handle this. And starts walking toward him. And he gets decapitated.
Yes.
Chekhov's lightsaber here.
I'd forgotten about it.
I know. It's because they didn't include it in the recap.
It's true, but still at the same time, there was no, because you don't see him suit back up. He's just in the suit.
Yeah.
So you don't.
Well,
like he does.
a great connection for what you just said, where when he has to go get his drip,
his
if you will,
effects. Yeah.
that's when he grabs the lightsaber.
Oh yeah, clearly that they have it. But still, you hadn't seen it since the one guy held it up and showed it to Gunter.
Right.
We hadn't seen it since then.
Yeah, so it just kind of pops off here, which, hey, I got to applaud the restraint from the recap editors not to put a bunch of the lightsaber footage in the recap.
I agree.
I'm just saying, I think those recaps suck. I can't
They do.
stand
We're
it.
skipping it for the final.
We are skipping
I don't want to know. I don't want to know nothing.
The cowards not for putting the recaps in. They say take them out.
Well, do you want to talk about him or do you want me to start out? Talk about him.
What?
Jod.
No, let's move on. Okay, moving on to the next thing. Of course, talk about it.
Okay, well, I think Jod Nana Wood is a better class of villain. He reminds me of a classic Disney villain. There ain't no gray in him.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we've been missing for a while in Star Wars.
Yeah, just a good old bad guy.
Just a good old bad guy. And so, what do you think was like Palpatine's like crux?
Power and immortality.
Immortality,
Yeah.
right? But you could boil that down to that he's greedy. Jod's greedy, but in a different way.
Sure.
And I think it's cool that they took an element from the baddest dude in all of Star Wars and just reworked it a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. We watered down that dark wizard stuff. It's still there a little bit, but like greed's the actual horrible thing.
What I love about him is actually that he's, in my opinion, I don't think that it's because he's just bad to the bone. He's got layers to him, like the opportunism. I do think that if opportunity were to present itself to just be nice to the kids the whole time, he would have.
Yeah.
Like if that would have led him completely to the treasure. But yeah, it's his greed that drives him.
Yeah.
And I do like that he's just a bad guy with the Force that's not a dark side user.
Yes. It makes the world seem bigger, doesn't it?
Yeah. I don't think he doesn't seem like he uses the dark side. He's just using the Force.
We hadn't talked about it yet, but I was getting really scared because I kept seeing people talk about his helmet. And it's like, maybe he's an Inquisitor. And I'm like, dang, I haven't thought about that. And I'm really happy that I don't think he's an Inquisitor. I think he's just a guy with the Force.
Yeah, 100%.
And I think that's awesome because the world's bigger.
Yeah.
The door's open for all kinds of people. He just never got a chance to. And I'm sure that someone bought him a book about the Force or something like that. Like he knows a very elementary level thoughts about the Jedi.
Yeah.
And that's why he knows like, oh, this is what I should do with it, but I'm not going to do that. Also, when he's talking to the kids, do you think about Hook at all?
Hook.
Not Captain Hook. Like Hook,
I know,
like Steven Spielberg's Hook. Like at the end of Hook, all Hook really wants is mom. But he didn't get that. And so that's how he grew up to be Hook.
Yeah.
And I wonder, does Jod just resent them because that they are children and they have the life that he's really always wanted?
I definitely got that, especially when he's talking to Wim. I think he sees himself in Wim so much because I don't think he's just a guy with the Force. I think that ultimately it's what he is, but I think that he learned from a Jedi at some point. Not that he was trained officially. I don't think he was ever a Padawan or anything.
Yeah.
But I think he was either the child of a Jedi or he was I definitely think he was trained after Order 66, like a Boken style.
Yeah.
Like he just had a run-in with the Jedi and he basically stole all their teachings.
Yeah.
And that's why he's got the slogans and everything.
Is there enough time to even get through all that though in the last episode?
No, I actually don't think that we're going to get any of that.
Yeah.
The only
I would
thing,
love a comic book or something like that. That
something
would,
to
I
build
think
them
that,
out.
oh my gosh, I think that like this would, a story about him, I think would be a great comic book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that if we are going to get something, I think the only thing that points to that, they've cut away every time Jod is about to do something. This is the first time we see Jod in action.
Yeah.
So I wonder if we'll have one of those moments where it's like, I got you out of this by doing this. I did this, you know,
kind of like a, oh gosh, what Ocean's movies where where it shows like, oh, this is what I did.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because I wonder if he's been ruthless this entire time.
Yeah, and we just haven't seen it.
Like when we could go back to Hana's planet, At Attin, and see that, oh, the way he actually dispatched those rebels, and he's kept those data reads the whole time. Maybe. Yeah. Because he did have a bunch when he did when they got to Lanupa.
Yeah. So, the kids couldn't have had that. That's a lot of lunch money.
Right.
Yeah.
So maybe he does something to maybe he's way more brutal in his dispatching of those guys. Right. Uses a little bit of his Force action. And I almost wonder if we'll get a moment, like you said, like an Ocean's reveal.
Yeah. Although, do you think he's swung a lightsaber before?
No, I don't.
When he was going back and forth, I'm like, bro, you look like you're getting used to that.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like it's like, I mean, kind of like how we would be, let's be honest. I'm like, I think this is the first time he's ever really messed around with one.
Yeah. I 100% agree, which again leads more credence to the fact that I don't think he was ever officially trained.
Yeah.
He just heard the slogan somewhere. Yeah. And he knows enough.
Yeah. And I also want to say, which I would love to talk to Grayson from Mortis FM about this. I think that this is an S tier lightsaber because I think it's like a perfect reflection of Jod, that it's covered in gold. It's it just fits his character so well. It's stolen. Like it is the perfect lightsaber for him, I feel like. So reminds me of an Electrum lightsaber, like Palpatine's or Mace Windu's. That's
your favorite?
Yeah, my favorites. That's just very ornate and gaudy.
Yeah.
But look at, when you see that shot where it's focused out and you see the kids when they first land, like how much terror there is in that, where it's just the zoom in on the lightsaber. We see it in the foreground where it's like normally, oh no, it's okay. The Jedi's there with the lightsaber. Oh no, the Jedi's there with the lightsaber.
It's good.
So good. Anyway.
It's awesome. I agree.
Yeah. I also think he's going to be his own undoing. I'm 100% of that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He is.
I would be surprised if he makes it out of the next episode. I think he's going to go by his own greed.
Yes. His own greed is going to take him out.
Well, following some theories from one of your theories here about the Onyx Cinder being crashed by trying to leave.
Yeah.
I wonder if the exact same thing isn't going to happen.
I think it will.
So
yeah, I think it's going to try and leave the barrier and he's going to die.
Yeah. So maybe Tak Rennod really is just a mirror to Jod, and that's what he's a cautionary tale that Jod is not listening to. That could be the answer here.
Maybe
because Tak Rennod never made it off At Attin.
He didn't.
So
Jod was wearing his clothes. Wim was wearing his hat.
Yeah. So maybe there's something to that for sure. That for sure. So the next scene we get, well, after Jod is being stone cold to the kids, because this is really the moment where it's like, oh boy, this guy's not good at all. Just the way he's talking to them. He's just letting loose. Like, you're the worst one. Shut up.
That was kind of he told Neil to shut up.
I know. I was like, brother.
Just wait, you see his dad. His dad is a unit.
Yeah. You go get those tusks.
Exactly.
Yeah. Great. A great reveal. He's like, I've got a headache, which I'm like, brother, I hear you, but no, you can't talk to kids like that even when you got a headache.
It's true. He also didn't kill. Was it Snowball? What's the little creature called?
Yeah, Snowball.
Yeah. I think Chekhov's gun, Chekhov's snowball.
Dude, yes.
Calling that. Yeah, there you go. There's my Chekhov for the next episode.
You keep teeing off all my crackpot theories here.
Oh, okay.
We're building up to it nicely.
Okay,
It's like,
gotcha. It's all coming together. But
we get down to the planet, and this is where things really start to get strange.
Yeah.
And where I'm just not sure about some things.
Okay.
So we check in with the parents once again.
Yeah.
The security droid comes in and is like, yo, why'd you do that? Why'd you send that thing out into space? That's not cool. I don't know why you guys did that. And they're like, because y'all ain't doing anything about finding my kids. You're not gonna save our kids. And he's like, well, actually, and then standby walks away.
Yeah.
And we hear the supervisor for the first time.
Yes.
Stephen Fry, by the way. Interesting. Yeah. And he's like, citizens of At Attin.
Yeah.
An emissary of the Republic is coming down to collect their shipment. Work's done for the day.
Yeah, I was going to say only mandatory workers, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And first of all, this is absolutely a pre-recorded message.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes. And I think it's one that nobody alive has heard before. Although I think they've heard that.
How would you have Fern's mom, though, if she's never heard the supervisor?
What do you mean?
Like, she works directly under him. So if she's never heard him before,
I think they
don't worry. Good luck with your new job. Trust, you're gonna love your boss. He doesn't talk much.
They're true believers. I mean, they get. I just don't think that she is in the know. They're not in the inner circle.
Okay.
I think that's particularly evident given that. I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see because given how many people are on the landing pad and are freaking out when that thing opens.
Yeah,
dude, they've never seen this.
I was gonna say they're just going to work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've never seen it. And how odd, by the way, that this society that has no money, a communistic society, really.
What do you mean they don't have any money? He's got lunch money. What are you talking about?
Oh, I guess that's true, isn't it?
What are you talking about?
I did miss that. Well, I was like,
that's what's moved the plot forward.
That's what it feels like. This doesn't feel like a super dystopian.
No.
Yes, it does. It is.
How does it feel dystopian?
Because it's
lunch money. They get bullied at school. They're like, what are you talking about?
I'll give you the lunch money thing. I didn't think about that. But that this society where everything is kind of decided for you, that they make money. You don't think that's interesting?
No, it's crazy interesting. Why does it look like our world? They've yet to explain that either. Yeah. So all of this is odd. Why is the planet? Why are the droids weird on it too?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not all going to be explained.
Well,
and that's
I think they have rations. The dataries are like rations. That's what I was getting at. Is like everything is decided for you. Like in a typical, it almost reminds me of like Soviet style, but it works for some reason. It's weird. Yeah, it's weird.
Gotcha.
That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
It's just there's some interesting connections there. Anyway, so what fascinates me the most is that nobody here has ever had a Republic emissary come down, right? Yeah. That seems very evident.
Long time ago.
Probably
the last time the Republic emissary came was when the Onyx Cinder crashed.
Maybe.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
That's what I'm calling.
Okay. Yeah. Great point. So when they land, second interesting thing.
Okay.
The security droids instantly trust Jod. Instantly.
Yeah.
Did you notice this?
Oh, yeah. They just listen to him. Well, they probably don't know what an emissary looks like.
Well, here's my idea here. Now we're starting to get into crackpot theory territory. Here's my second piece of evidence for the Republic emissaries being Jedi.
Okay.
You get that shot. You just referenced it a moment ago.
Yeah, you see his lightsaber.
Yeah, where you see the lightsaber and you see the kids in the background and they're kind of terrified, right?
Yeah.
The moment right after that, literally the next shot, security droid is like...
Walks right up,
says, you must be the Republic emissary. I wonder if he thought that because he has a lightsaber on his hip. On his hip, excuse me. I'm just saying, I think there's something to that. And then they lead them into the vault. And another point of maybe ironic writing is... Jod is saying how he'd rather not deal with the droid. Like, hey, go fetch the supervisor. It'd be better than dealing with the droid. It's like,
that's also
buddy, you're maybe in for a surprise.
Yeah. I also like the idea too that maybe Jod did have some dealings with droids in the Clone Wars and stuff like that. So maybe that's also why he doesn't, because he's not like droids the entire time. It's not just these droids.
Yeah. I mean, I think everybody who lived through the Clone Wars probably has a little bit of a prejudice toward the droids.
Yeah.
But that was, I think, particularly interesting. And then when Jod's like, man, look at these vaults, they say, we hope you be pleased. The exact same line that the Kaminoans say to Obi-Wan Kenobi when he arrives on Kamino. And maybe this is just a fun, subtle parallel where it's, okay, an emissary of a faction is coming to this hidden planet to see this thing that's been commissioned or whatever. That could be, for sure. I mean, that's like, maybe that's a fun way to just draw a parallel. But I also, another thing I saw on Reddit, hey, sometimes there's some fun stuff on there. Do these droids kind of sound like the Kaminoans a little bit? They have the same cadence.
I guess a little bit. I thought the ones at the beginning kind of sounded a little piratey.
Yeah, we said that in our reaction.
Is it all Stephen Fry?
I don't know if the security droids are, but I do wonder if there's another character that's voiced by Stephen Fry in this series.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we get the final thing here in the episode. Of course, we get Jod to the vault. He has that moment where he's cackling maniacally.
Yes.
As the money's falling on him.
Money's his god. I mean, it's terrifying.
Yeah. Great shot. Great moment.
Mm-hmm.
And then the final moment of the episode, while the kids are hugging their parents. Oh my gosh, you guys are home. Thank goodness. Jod just walks out, has that smile. I don't know what it is about that shot where it's that close up of Jod as Fern is looking at him.
Mm-hmm.
Jude Law is just much subtle acting there.
He's awesome.
Yeah.
He's a treasure.
And then Jod activates the lightsaber, and that's where the episode ends.
Yeah.
So, okay. Checking in with the chat and then Crackpot theory time. We're going to get into all of it. So Gunter will double cross Jod when he realizes the treasure isn't the true goal. Interesting. I think he'll be crushed by an avalanche of dataries. I think there's something to that. Absolutely think there's something to that. It looks a lot like the ones you can build at Galaxy's Edge, referring to the lightsabers, the protection and defense themed lightsabers. Interesting. Interesting. From HT Verlag, it would have been, if he would never have been trained, taking out SM-33 would have been a pretty lucky shot, though. I mean, it's just swinging a stick. I think that you could get at least one off, especially if that's something
doesn't know it's coming.
Exactly.
Yeah. I just, with him going back and forth, it felt like that, I got to get used to this, because this is no, like how we always say, there's no counterbalance to it. It wouldn't be like swinging, the lightsabers we have on the wall.
Exactly.
But Jod has the Force, so he should be able to swing it.
So they've never worried about money in most societies, though. Yes, that's true. From Mess with Neil, you get the tusks from Schecter. Absolutely. Watch out.
Yeah. Coming to get you.
Snowball's going to get a snack in the form of Jod's eyeball. Dude, that'd be another great payoff.
That'd be messed up. It's not very family friendly. Would
have been Palpatine level bad if he killed Snowball.
I think that's going to come back to get him. That's the whole thing. Yeah.
From HD again, the fact that the entry to the vault was underneath a lawn, people that had having picnics showed it didn't happen for at least a lifetime. That's what I'm thinking. I agree with you there.
Yeah.
Is it possible we get an ending similar to Loki's fate in season 2? He gets what he's always wanted, but at the cost of being trapped in a sense. Jod may become the new supervisor, but he can't leave. I think there's something to that.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, okay. And reading one last one to segue us. Where is it at? I saw it a second ago. More Crackpot from Johnny G. Okay, well, your wish is granted. Let's get into this. I have some ideas.
Okay. Hit me with it.
So, the supervisor. Let's start out here, because this is all going to lead. We're just going to have to talk this through with you.
With the chat?
With the chat.
I'll just listen.
Let's talk this all through, because I haven't quite figured it out yet.
Okay.
So, there's been theories that Tak Rennod is the supervisor, right? I think that has legs, but what if the supervisor is Tak Rennod? Huh? Let me explain.
Okay.
What if this is all just a story? Because there's another homage here, like the Wizard of Oz, right? Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
Yeah.
I think the one thing that we really have to pay attention to with like Tak Rennod in particular, why was his face obscured? There's no narrative reason to do that unless it's coming back at some point.
Yeah.
At least I don't see a reason to do that unless there's something that's going to come back, right?
Yeah.
So
unless they were afraid everyone would be like, it's Hondo.
Then why make him a weak way to begin with? You know what I mean? Like, I think there's got to be something more there.
Okay.
So I think the story is fake. Ultimately, something about the story is fake. And so here's one avenue. The Tak Rennod story is completely fake. It's not real. This was the supervisor invented the Tak Rennod story for some reason. Maybe to get his people in line. Maybe the people were getting out of control and he needed a myth to,
hey, pirates came here and you better be careful.
Yeah.
That sort of thing.
In fact, their ship is crashed just outside, just out in the woods.
Yeah.
Like as a reminder is, hey, stay down, do your work.
Yeah.
That's idea one. Where are we at with that?
And then what? It set up coordinates on this random planet and SM-33.
Well, no, that's all real still.
Okay.
Because, I mean, there was still all the jewel planets, but they all had uprisings, right?
Yes.
So they had these uprisings where things were destroyed. Okay, the supervisor is still on At Attin, maybe it's the last one.
Yeah.
Okay, SM33, wipe the last one from the file on the pillar. We're going to the last one, and we're going to make sure this never happens again. Instill fear in our constituents, and they'll never uprise.
Okay.
That's ideal one.
Okay.
So you got nothing on this one, huh?
Well, I don't know, because I'm still confused. So did Tak Rennod never exist?
That's one idea I'm leaning on, is that Tak Rennod never existed. It's a
then
story.
How do you have a recording of him? That they just made a recording of him?
Yes, and that's why you can't see the face.
And that then they set up a pirate's lair.
Lanupa is the one wrench in this.
It's a huge wrench.
Well, maybe Lanupa is just, maybe there's another pirate. Maybe there was a Weequay pirate.
Yeah.
Because you can see the skull.
Yeah.
And maybe it's an old legend, and maybe it was revived
Why is the lightsaber
with Tak
there?
Rennod. Because lightsaber, I mean, if you're going to have a layer, sure.
Okay.
You have a lightsaber, it's treasure.
Let's go to the next one.
You're not into this one, huh?
You're into this? Like, you think if this is how Tuesday goes down, you're like, all right, I'm with it.
I'm just saying there's something about all of these pieces here that aren't fitting together just yet. And this is one way that kind of makes sense.
Okay.
That's why I said I need some help here. I think Lanupa is the big thing that puts a wrench into this.
I've trusted them this far. Just have fun.
Well, I'm going to have fun, but it's fun to speculate.
Okay.
Seth.
All right.
I'm going to like whatever they do.
Okay.
Potentially, but
All
I'm
right.
just saying. Okay. So that's theory number one.
Mm-hmm.
So the supervisor is Tak Rennod. Then there's also Tak Rennod is the supervisor. And I think that the only way that works is if they crash, Tak gets off, and maybe hijacks the supervisor himself.
Yeah.
And becomes like an AI sort of like singularity type thing where he uploads his consciousness as the AI.
That's stupid.
I mean, it's something.
Does that happen in Star Wars?
Has any of this? We can have new things in Star Wars, Seth.
It's true, but that's insane.
I'm just saying something like this. Okay. And
I'm with you. Okay. I'm following.
And it creates this society to keep minting things in order to live eternally with this pirate horde.
Okay.
Right? Because what's a pirate's dream? To keep hoarding and collecting loot. Well, now he gets to eternally have all this loot, right?
Yes.
Huh?
Okay. All right.
Okay. Looks like so far this theory gets a big thumbs down for me. Hey,
gotcha.
We got a couple.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Hey, Miss Honey though is on my side. That's been a theory. That's been my theory. Tak is the supervisor.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Right. This is my other piece of evidence here. I'm fairly sure Stephen Fry is also the voice of Captain Rennod. I think there's something to that because Tak Rennod remains uncredited, but they credited the supervisor as Stephen Fry.
Yeah.
Why?
Do we know?
What?
Do we know that Stephen Fry did voice Tak Rennod?
He's credited.
As Tak Rennod?
No. He's credited as the supervisor.
I know, but we don't know who voiced Tak Rennod.
I know, but why leave it uncredited?
Because he's going to show up in the next episode. He's going to be like...
You're not being very helpful. You're not going along with anything.
He's just eating a piece of toast, be like, what'd I miss?
West, IDK seems confident with it. Thank you.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
I know Schechter doesn't want it. Or Schechter says Seth doesn't want to drink my Kool-Aid. Hey, I'm with you on your theories here. Come on, give me a little rope.
Okay.
Goodness. Moving on. We're moving on to the next one. So the supervisor and maybe Tak Rennod is SM33.
Oh, it's all one and the same?
It's all one and the same. He's been a droid this whole time because obviously I think everything is pointing to the fact that the supervisor is an AI. I think that we all at least can agree with that, right?
It's a droid of sorts.
Yes. Yeah. So either that means that it was Tak Rennod's consciousness uploaded to the AI or the supervisor, creating stories or whatever. But I think this fits in line with the fact that SM33 could have been Tak Rennod all along. And even a step further, could be the supervisor the whole time. It's got something to that.
Okay.
Let's play with the Tak Rennod angle. So this whole show, we've been talking about setups and payoffs, about how a lot of things that seem like nothing have meant something very significant.
Like the claw.
Like the claw.
Yeah.
Here's another one. They've been very adamant about the fact that droids are very malleable. Memory in the droids can be moved around a lot, right?
Yeah.
So we get that a few times in this show so far.
Mm-hmm.
So what if SM33 is just a version of the supervisor or even a Tak Rennod himself?
And what, he created a recording?
Yeah.
Of a Weequay that they're talking.
The point is the legend, right? It's the story.
Yes.
It's the legend. So why not?
Okay.
I think the fact that he's a Weequay is literally just a passive reference to Hondo. That's my guess.
Okay.
So don't focus too hard on the Weequay thing.
I'm just saying too that like the whole shrine to the Weequay on everything
Yeah.
That it's all on the traps. It's all on the,
Sure.
yeah. That I'm just
but I
it's a
wonder
lot
if
of effort.
It is.
Yeah.
But wouldn't that be an interesting way to sort of highlight? Like, let's just say, let's take the supervisor angle out of it.
Okay.
Let's just say the SM-33 is part of that.
Okay.
Like he's part of creating the legend.
He's just
Or
decided
maybe he
that
has a puppet captain, and it's just like he's overcome with greed,
Mhm.
and when he decided Tak Rennod was not doing what he needed to do.
Gotcha.
Or, I mean, to bring back what I said earlier about my supervisor theory, maybe the Weequay treasure hoard has just existed forever, for a long time. It's an old legend, and they revived it with Tak Rennod.
Okay.
By inventing this story.
And so SM-33 is the supervisor.
Maybe.
Well, I'm
at least Tak Rennod. Maybe. That's what I'm going with. It's sort of a transitive property thing.
Because then why is he wrecked on the ship, holding on to the lever when the kids find him?
It's a good question. So I said I don't have all the pieces here, but I think that there's enough evidence for some of this.
Okay.
Man, you're giving me nothing here.
I'm trying to help you.
Okay, last one.
Okay.
Last one.
I don't know. Check the chat. Is anybody picking up what you're laying down?
Hey, we got Miss Honey is here with me. All right. Where was this?
Okay.
Another good possibility. Thank you.
Okay.
I thought that about SM-33 as well from Ed Dead Caesar. Thank you.
Okay.
Tak Rennod was really the friends we made along the way. You know what? Maybe there's something to that.
Okay.
The supervisor is actually Quinlan Voss. Wouldn't that be something? Bruh. To Seth, Konnor is eating the burnt pizza rolls of Crackpot theories. See, I don't know. He's not helping me today. He's out on his own over there on his own little island. I just think there's something to some of this. You don't think there's
no, the pieces all fit together. I just haven't liked anything you've said so far.
Wow.
I'm like, if it turned out,
say it, I guess.
If it turned out to be those things, I would be disappointed. That's what I'm saying.
Any of those, really? You wouldn't. Okay, let's just say that all lines up perfectly. Every one of them. You wouldn't like any of those possibilities?
I mean, I don't want it to be that, like, I just want SM-33 to be a pirate droid. I don't want him to be just that, like, oh, well, Tak Rennod never existed. The legend was never real. You guys just kind of stumbled upon this thing that, all right. I guess that makes sense that, like, all right, Wim, none of it was real. Go be an analyst.
Well, I mean,
yeah.
However they do it, it's going to make sense.
I hope
I'm just
so.
saying that that's why I'm saying
I just don't want to cheapen the adventure.
How does that cheapen the adventure?
None of it was real.
That doesn't mean none of it was real.
I mean, if everything was all prefabricated, basically, that eventually 33 is going to end up on what is the name of the I keep wanting to call it Jabeam, the one planet, the Lanupa, yeah. If eventually he'll get back there, that it's like almost feels like the path was preset.
I don't think so. I mean, their journey is still an adventure. They're still having. It doesn't mean none of it wasn't real.
Okay.
There's obviously missing pieces, and they've set up a lot of things that don't have payoffs yet.
Gotcha.
So these are just some potential pathways. That's all I'm getting at.
Okay.
But but you don't like any of them, is what you're saying. Any of those ideas.
Which one are you married to? Which one are you like? Oh my gosh.
I think 100%. The one I think is clear as day is that the supervisor is a droid.
Yeah.
It's an AI of some kind.
Yeah, I think so too.
Some sort of hive mind.
Yeah.
I don't know 100% about the Tak Rennod supervisor theory. I think there needs to be something more with Tak Rennod because you don't hide someone's face for no reason.
Yeah.
And we only hear recordings, and SM-33 has a very intimate knowledge of Tak Rennod.
Yeah.
And there's that whole bit about, the first mate leading the mutiny.
Yeah.
Which
going mad with greed
was the first mate. I think there's a lot here. Mm-hmm. So I do kind of like the idea that SM-33 is Tak Rennod, was him all along. And just his memories have been, fiddled with and all these things.
Or did his crew actually mutiny against him and he was telling the truth?
Yeah, maybe that's the case.
That he was Tak Rennod, and then his maybe
his first mate. Sure.
Maybe his first mate, and then his concubine was like the person that worked on him or whatever.
Sure.
That she's the one who betrayed him.
And you also have to keep in mind when they see every time we hear something from Tak, every time it's through SM-33.
Yeah.
Every time. Even when they find the captain's log, he's the one who shows it.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying they've made a point. Here's my evidence here.
The other
lay
thing
it out
too
real easily.
Isn't. I mean, yeah, they can be rewritten, but he's still kind of a in servitude to them, right? Like to Fern and all them.
He's
he's telling.
That's pretty fungible though.
Yeah, I guess that he can kind of stretch the rules a little bit if he needs to.
He could be kind of like Jod. He's doing things to his own ends.
Yeah.
Right. Again, I don't know that is.
That's really reaching the. Okay, him bending the rules a little bit is fine with me. I just don't like droids. Just having all the emotions, if that makes sense.
I get
that will bother me then.
Yeah.
Yeah, because K2SO, I think he goes over the line too much. L3 really goes over the line. Like, I think R2 and 3PO are like perfect. Like, they're just enough.
Sure.
There's enough humanity. No,
I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I think that there needs to be and I have confidence whatever route they go. If one of these theories ends up being right,
okay,
they're going to explain it in a way that makes total sense because they've given me a lot of confidence that it'll make total sense.
Yes. Oh no, I think that they're going to land this ship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll kind of leave it there, like kind of the evidence.
I'm sorry that I'm like dumping all over you.
The evidence, like I said, is just like the droid's memories can be very, malleable. Mm-hmm. That's been something that's come back. Not showing Tak's face.
Yeah.
SM33 is the one showing all of Tak's stuff, like whether it's his voice or his
a recording or something
is all through him.
Mm-hmm.
There's just a lot of things snowballing in this direction.
Yeah.
I got one more.
Is this the big one?
This is the big one. Snowball is Tak Rennod.
In the stream.
Yeah, dude.
In the stream. How crazy would that be, though? That like it's intelligent.
Look,
that it's like, thank you for saving me. Could you imagine?
I am half joking, but I do think there is a smidgen of possibility here.
Out of everything you've said, I'd be all right with that.
That's the one.
That would be so crazy. Because I mean, I'm trying to think of things shout out to Mortis FM, Lugubrious Moat.
Lugubrious Moat.
That's what it sounds like. Yeah. The sentient flea living on Salacious Crumb that helped Luke Skywalker defeat the Rancor.
Yeah, that's the. Okay, I know. This is stupid,
that's
but
what it sounds like.
I just wonder. He's piloting SM33.
Yeah, exactly.
He's a little guy, but he can't be.
He's like Babu Frick.
Exactly. But think about it for just a second. Okay.
All right.
This little guy, he's a bilge rat, by the way, which talk about setups and payoffs.
Yeah.
Jod called someone a bilge rat, or Brutus did. One of the other.
One of the guys did, yeah.
Called somebody a bilge rat earlier. Yeah. Maybe there's something to that. But anyway, he can't command respect as this little guy.
No.
So instead, this actually kind of fits in with the SM33's Tak Rennod thing and solves your problem with him being too sentient.
Yeah.
So here, I'm going to lay it out.
Okay.
Snowball, AKA Tak Rennod.
Yeah.
He piloted,
AKA Captain of the Onyx Cinder.
AKA Captain. Maybe even I'll go so far as to say
the Supervisor.
So hey, it's all connected.
It is. Okay. It's all connected. Again, John didn't step on it.
Yeah, I know. Because he's got aura. Right?
He does.
That's what it is.
You don't mess with him.
You don't mess with him at all.
He's got the Riz.
Yeah, he's got that bilge rat Riz.
Exactly. Yeah.
So he pilots SM33 to get the crew in line, and Tak Rennod was his story he had to invent to get the crew in line because no one's going to respect a little naked mole rat.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So what about a Weequay with a pirate hat? Hey, everybody respects that.
Yeah. Okay.
But he pilots
the other thing the other thing that I think is crazy too is what if he was like the first mate
and he led the mutiny?
He led the mutiny.
Something to that too.
I know.
They made a point of Jod not stepping on him. That's all I'm saying. I know.
Yeah.
Hey, at the beginning, you thought this was crazy.
Yeah.
This one's got some legs, don't it?
To me, it does.
Yeah.
Aye.
Yeah. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's check in with the chat. What do you guys think of that? Great stream. Thank you. So you brought it to
That's definitely before you just said that.
No, it was after. 100%. Hashtag Seth hates theories. Exactly.
Oh my gosh.
No kidding.
Seth, I gotta hate something, right?
Seth, yep. He just come on. Let me move around here. But there we go. From Skywalker Academy. My goodness, all these theories are scrambling my brain right now. A millennia ago, Hondo created Tak Rennod, created SM33, and programmed to take over the last planet. I agree.
Maybe.
Hey, if you were going to create a pirate captain, to inspire your crewmates, why not the most impressive pirate captain in the Star Wars galaxy? Okay. What if Stephen Fry voiced both the Supervisor as the posh ancestor of Tak's. They could have been keeping the fortune in the family for generations, and SM33 was the concubine. Why not? Hey, you know what?
I mean, win in Rome, right?
Tak Rennod could be the red herring. That's also a good possibility. That it's just part of this. I just think not showing his face is such a weird choice. If they would have showed his face in that episode as just a random weak way, maybe the only reason they don't do it is because people would be like, it's Hondo.
Exactly.
Maybe that's it.
Yeah.
But it just feels like the writing has been too good thus far.
Yeah.
To make a decision like that and it not mean anything. That's all that I'm saying. Hondo is named after his great-great-grandfather on his mom's side. Hey. Hondo. From Noise Maze here. It's believable since Hondo's a well-known pirate. If I wanted to impersonate someone from the NBA that was well-known, I'd pick Michael Jordan or Shaq, right?
Yeah, there you go. Okay.
That's what I just said.
Yeah.
Seth is hating on droids now. Hey, Seth always is hating on everything. That's just how it goes. Ms. Honey, hey, Ms. Honey's in my corner. You know what? Listen, Ms. We might be having an opening on the show here before too long because how much Seth is just hating on me right now. Space Owls, droids, KB, and me. I mean, this has been the story of Skeleton Crew on Beyond the Dune Sea so far. So that's yeah. Do you think Jod is aware that the lightsaber is the key to be an emissary? I do not think so. And
I think he's just rolling with it.
And that also hinges on the fact that that maybe the emissaries are Jedi.
Yeah.
Dualicate, such an inconsequential thing, but I agree with Seth on the too much personality in droids thing. The personalities of the battle droids in ROTS bothered me so much as a kid. I do agree with that point that both you and Seth have made. If out of all the theories, I do think that's true, is that like that would give SM33 a ton of agency.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
Most important droid ever then at that point.
Maybe like if we're going with that theory, a puppet of the supervisor, I could kind of see. Yeah. Like if there was going to be a connection, I think I'd prefer that. Mm-hmm. Something to that effect. Skywalker Academy. You people have to stop discriminating against droids, or they'll be offended enough to carve you up like a 000. Man, look at that.
Yeah.
Okay, not down with the Ratatouille theory. LMAO. Oh, okay. Miss Honey's not in my corner anymore.
Gotcha.
She's not down with the
All right.
theory.
Okay.
Snowball is also Wim's mom. Hey, we've not seen Wim's mom.
It's true.
Something there?
Maybe.
Something there?
Maybe.
All I'm saying, there's something here. We'll find out on Tuesday.
Yes.
Right? So last thing I want to talk about before we jump into the community spotlight, which, by the way, we have a few sort of announcements and things to talk about during the community spotlight. So stay tuned. And of course, the fan questions, community questions. Don't want to miss those. There's some really good ones this week. So I want to talk just to end this out because Jod has been a huge highlight this whole series, this episode in particular. A few theories about Jod. These ones are less crackpot. Okay, so maybe you'll be with me on these.
I would.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I guess that's a great place to start. We've said it before, but it's definitely not his real name. Right? No. Do you think his name, though, is Jod at least?
Yes.
I'm with you. I think so, because Jodwick Zank, Jod Na Wood, he's used it enough times.
Yeah.
I think that the Na Wood name was stolen from a Jedi because he was hoping that Wim might recognize it.
Mm-hmm. Captain Jod Silvo.
Captain Long Jod Silvo.
Yeah, yes. Exactly.
So I wonder if his name is really Jod Silvo.
Yeah.
Because it would make sense out of all the places to use your real name once you've got a big pirate crew
who cares,
that trusts you and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, use your real name. So I think Jod Silvo is likely his real name. The other thing, we kind of touched on this a little bit, but I just want to kind of go a little further with it. He doesn't use the lightsaber like someone who knows what he's doing. We talked about that earlier.
Yeah.
So
it just really felt like he was getting used to it.
Yeah. That's definitely what that all felt like. So let's lock it in because it's our last time we can. Oh, go ahead.
Not classically trained, if you will.
Yeah, for sure. So let's lock it in. If we do get Jod backstory next week, lock it in.
Yeah.
Where are you going? What's Jod Silvo? What's his backstory?
I think he's just a guy. I hope we don't get one. I hope he's just a guy.
Yeah.
Just that the door is open a little bit further for him. Makes the world feel bigger. I don't want him to be connected to anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, okay.
Like I really don't want him to be like a survivor of Order 66.
No, please. No.
Yes. I just want him to be a guy and that like heard stories about Jedi, heard legends about Jedi. Maybe even his parents took him to an elder or something like that. It's like he's got the gift and he got a little bit of training, but then that guy died or something like that. So, yeah, but no formal training.
Yeah. I agree. I think I that's what I hope too.
Yeah.
I think that likely either a child of just some random Jedi named Nana Wood, or like you said, came into contact with the Jedi at some point, named Nana Wood, and that's why he stole that name. Yeah. The only thing that I definitely want him to be a guy, and I think he is just a guy. Yeah. He's had just enough Jedi-isms to suggest that he's come into contact with it.
Maybe his teacher, here's a crackpot theory for you. Maybe his teacher was a tree. And so that's why he's Jod, Nana Wood. He's not wood.
Thanks for that.
Nailed it.
So glad you're being serious in this episode.
I nailed it.
With the theories. Goodness. Okay. So that's where I'm at with Jod. I hope that I don't think we're getting a ton of backstory for him, and I hope we don't, but he's definitely going out next episode, right?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, no, he's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that I don't hate the idea of him getting crushed or locked in a vault, but I just think there's just some satisfactory of him getting shot by a giant sentry gun as he's leaving, as they're like, no, Jod, don't. You'll never make it past the barrier. Forget you kids. And then leaves.
I think he's got to die by his own doing.
That's what I'm saying, is like they're trying to stop him, but he goes anyway because his greed gets him.
I just don't want like Neil to grab a hold of the gunner, and him do. I don't want anybody to do the shot.
I'm saying that I think that like either a sentry gun, like not an like the,
get you. Yeah,
that takes him out, or that like the barrier itself takes him out.
Sure,
because I think it could be clever that like KB does something to make it seem like the Onyx Cinder is not a ship anymore, that it's foreign, and so it can't get back through the ship.
Sure.
Yeah. Or maybe Snowball and SM-33 could... Snowball puts SM-33 back together, and then like they're fighting, and then like they all blow up together or something like that. Although I kind of want SM-33 to still be alive.
I have just
active
a want, just 'cause I think it'd be a beautiful way to end the series. I kind of like the idea of the final beat of the show is the kids putting back together the droid together.
Yeah.
Like everything's done. We've had our falling action. There's resolution. Okay. We're back home.
Yeah.
Let's put him back together.
Gotcha.
And we never see him come back together.
Yeah.
It's just that moment that we know he's going to come back.
Just as long as it's not like Book of Boba Fett. With
Cobb Vanth?
Yes, with Cobb Vanth.
No, I just
Tiger Claw or whatever his name is.
I think that would encompass his the spirit of the show and the characters really well. Like, hey, they're going to continue their adventure in their own way. They're going to rebuild the droid that they've come to know.
Yeah.
I do think he's not gone forever though. 100%.
I hope not.
So last thing, I guess, before we totally move on, I do next episode predictions. How's this thing going to end? Do you have any ideas?
I don't know. That's what I think is kind of crazy, because he activated that lightsaber in front of a bunch of droids. They're going to shoot him, right? Like stun him?
Yeah.
You would think.
I have an idea about that.
Okay. So unless they're not going to attack an emissary, and he's going to be like, hey, these guys are, get them arrested.
Well, I wonder if the show is playing a trick on us.
Okay.
Because it ends on a note that's very ominous, right? Jod threatening everybody.
Yeah. I hope it doesn't just wrap up just like that, where it's like, silly Jod.
Well, I wonder if it's not a threat, because let's go with the theory that the Jedi are the emissaries.
Yeah.
Well, a lightsaber, that's a weapon of the Jedi Knights, the guardians of peace and justice in the old Republic, right? So
Elegant
I wonder
weapon for a more civilized age.
So I wonder if him igniting the lightsaber is more like showing off his badge.
Yeah.
And so I wonder if maybe even it could go two ways if that's the case. Maybe Jod was intending to be threatening, but even like the parents are like, oh my gosh, a Jedi saved our kids. Yeah. Oh, we've heard so much about you. And maybe Wendell can have a moment where he's like, I'm so sorry, Wim. I never believed your stories or anything. Maybe there's something to that. Or maybe, and maybe that throws Jod off like, oh shoot, okay, they think I'm something more. Well, I'm going to play this Jedi angle again. Yeah. The kids know better than to cross me.
I just am worried about, like, they've only got like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I feel like this next one's it's got a lot of things to kind of.
I have full faith.
Okay.
Full faith. I mean,
that's the only thing I worry about.
If they can pack all this stuff they did in this episode in 30 minutes, they can do it. They can do it again.
Okay.
So I wonder if that's a trick, because another thing to kind of point to this, if you zoom in on Wendell in that shot where Jod ignites the lightsaber, he says something. Like his mouth moves, he says something.
Okay.
But it's not in the dialogue. So I think we're going to pick up directly from this spot next episode.
Yeah.
And I wonder if we're going to get a little bit of explanation, or rather I wonder if the show played a little trick on us, that this was actually not a moment meant to threaten the parents, but they're like, oh my gosh, like it's a Jedi. This is so good.
Look at the hero who brought our children back.
And then they're going to bring him to the supervisor.
Yeah.
That's my guess.
Okay.
Something like that.
Okay.
Again, we'll see. But like what you said, if it is immediately recognized as a hostile move, why things got to go off the rails quick at the beginning of the next episode. And
Yes.
how does Jod escape that?
He
doesn't.
can't. No way. He has to, again, think that he's fine to leave the planet.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then that be his own undoing.
Yeah. So
Or get locked in the vault or however you want to go with it. Yeah.
So there's definitely something more to that moment. And we're going to see it next week. So I'm excited about that. Check in with you guys one more time before we transition into the fan segment. Schechter, Seth, get out. His master wasn't an int. Hey,
Could be.
you never know. It could be. You never know.
Yeah.
I'm hoping Jod is the youngling who confronts Vader in Revenge of the Sith. That'd be great.
The Master Skywalker. There's too many of them. Oh, okay.
Would you like that?
How'd he get out?
I don't know.
Okay.
Brutus came in and saved him. Rory, great question here. Do you guys think we will still see the character Nina Nanawood?
Had forgotten about that.
Good question.
I don't want it, but I could see the next episode starting with like a tiny flashback. Yeah. And then cut back to the present.
It'd have to be done well. That'd be the first time that I'd be like, ooh, are we spending our time wisely here? I don't know. But it could work. I think if they're going to play Jod as he still has a redemption in him, or they're going to try to make him sympathetic in some way, then maybe you need something like that because you need to know where he's coming from.
Yeah, he could have something of his mother's or something like that, like a recording or something as well. It doesn't have to be a flashback.
His mom is Tak Rennod.
You nailed it. What was I thinking? Man, what was I? Gosh, guys.
Hey,
Konnor's so smart.
Look at this. Jod called Anakin Master Skywalker and was spared. That's how he made it out.
Maybe.
There he is.
That was it.
Hey, Albo's in here. I think Jod will have to choose between saving the kids and the treasure, and he'll save the kids in the end.
No
if
way.
you would have said that last week even, I would have agreed with you.
No way.
I don't think that's happening anymore.
No, he cares about gold.
We have a few people in here. Rory and Cole are both saying, and Divided Skywalker is saying the finale is supposed to be 50 plus minutes.
Oh.
That can, again, I'm not all about just time, the runtime. So if it's well paced, I'm in for whatever time they want to give us.
Sure. I've been worried because the tides have been kind of all over the place. And then we have to also think too that like there's 7 minutes dedicated to credits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cole here. You guys should check out Star Wars Time Show. They had Wim on the last episode. Hey, stick around for a minute. I might mention a thing or two about that. Still think At Attin is Fort Knox. Jod will not get out. Yeah, I think that either he dies in the vault or he dies on his way out the barrier for sure.
Yeah.
Star Wars Santa and Miss Rispin were watching the live interview with Wim, but the channel clipped out in the replay. Star Wars. You have to tell. I'm not sure what that means.
Are they talking about Star Wars Time Show?
Oh, maybe.
Yes.
His mom could have been the former Jedi turned pirate. If the mom is the connection to the Force or the Jedi, I would be surprised if she was a pirate. But maybe for sure.
That could be kind of interesting that his mom got killed, the only family that he had. And so that's what he clings on to. Like the Force, what little Force teaching she could teach him. Yeah. And then he adopted the pirate life. And that's why he resents the kids.
Yeah. That's what I've been saying for a few episodes, is that his mom could have been the Nina Nanawood, this Force user. Yeah, still a little bit of hope for Jod, but it is shrinking.
I doubt it.
I know. I'm not sure.
I think that, especially with the last week's episode, that like he ain't a good person.
Yeah.
And you know what? Just because you're not a good person doesn't mean you can't be a great Star Wars character.
That's true. That's true. I think that finally, Star Wars has escaped its villain problem.
Yes.
Like Star Wars for a while had a villain issue. Mm-hmm. And these last several, like looking at, I'm forgetting his name.
Who?
The guy from Bad Batch.
Rampart?
No, the doctor guy. Why am I forgetting his name?
I don't remember what his name was.
My goodness, he's great. For some reason, I'm not remembering his name. Wow.
Yeah.
You know, we love the Bad Batch.
Yeah.
He's great. Mm-hmm. Krennic is great.
Yes.
I mean, not my favorite show, but Chimera is great.
Yeah.
And Jod is great.
Yeah.
And I love Brutus. I know he's like a kind of your secondary villain, but he was awesome.
Yeah.
So Hemlock, excuse me. There it was. Dr. Hemlock.
Yes.
So he was great. So yeah, finally.
Wait, was it Hemlock? Okay.
Yeah, he was Hemlock.
Okay.
Because I was trying to think. I'm like, it's a plant. I'm not remembering what it is.
I was just like, don't name the doctor that's from...
no, not Pershing.
Yes, not from Mando. Yeah.
So, okay, let's get over to the community spotlight. Got a lot of things to talk about in this segment of the show.
Yes.
Take it away.
You must feel the force around you.
Alrighty, it is the community spotlight time. It's a time where we highlight some artists, we answer some questions, and listen to some comments from you guys, of which I put a prompt on Instagram every week asking you guys your thoughts, questions, and opinions of the topic of the week. Of course, this week is about Skeleton Crew episode 7. And we're going to start out with a little announcement. And that is, you might have seen it over on our page, but I'm going to put it up anyway here. That is Tales from the Archives is back. If after Skeleton Crew, you're really jonesing for some more Star Wars between now and Andor, well, we got you covered. Part 2 of our Heir to the Empire coverage will be on January 21st. And here, look at that. We're even planning ahead. We've got part 1 and 2 for Dark Force Rising on February 18th and March 4th, and The Last Command on April 1st and April 15th. And that'll lead us right into Andor. So you need some good Star Wars coverage, and you also need some time to listen, or some time to read, rather. Check out all those books. The Thrawn trilogy, it's fantastic. Yeah. You guys know.
You could just watch us, because we'll give you a synopsis.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. So
Crackpot theories.
Yeah, you never know. Might come some more of that
stuff. You never know. You never know. Something happened in the green. I can't read it. What happened?
Yes, I saw that.
Something happened
from
in the green.
Rory O'Brien. Welcome to Padawan. Thank you so much for becoming a member, Rory. Really appreciate you. So yeah, check us out. The first one is on January 21st. It's a great time. Hanging out with Mortis FM, Will of the Force. It's good stuff.
Yes.
So
always a good time.
Next up, checking in with the Artist Spotlight. So if you guys would like to be a part of the Artist Spotlight every week, we try to highlight something that you guys are doing. And we say Artist Spotlight, it can be really anything, something cool you're doing. Are you a writer?
Song.
Are you a
sculptor?
Yeah,
painter?
Any of that stuff. You're just doing something cool and you want us to share about it, then send us, where's it at? Where am I at? Oh, come on. There it is. I couldn't see it. You can email us at beyondthedunesea@gmail.com or DM us on Instagram at beyondthedunesea. So check us out over there if you'd like to send us something for the Artist Spotlight. And this week, we alluded to it a second ago, but that is the Star Wars Time Show. They just had an awesome interview with Ravi Kabet-Conyers, who plays Wim and Skeleton Crew, which was just amazing. Just as a fan of the Star Wars Time Show, you guys know we're friends with Matt and Nick from over there. They were an inspiration for this show. We've had Matt on our show. We've both been over on the Star Wars Time Show. We love those guys over there, and just to see a big win from them was really awesome. So go watch their interview. It was really cool. Again,
kind of wild.
Just really proud of those guys. I think that's awesome. So go check that out. I'm not even going to tell you anything about the interview because it was great. It's a little over an hour long. Go check that out on their YouTube. They're on Spotify. They're on Apple, all that stuff. But check them out on YouTube so you can see their faces over there.
Yes.
But yeah, really cool and really happy for those guys that they were able to do that. Last thing before we get into the questions, I know there's a ton of stuff to talk about, and that is
easy.
Would you guys want a chance to win one of these, or Seth's gonna grab it, something like this, or something a little bit like that? Well, on February 2nd, I don't have a graphic for this. February 2nd, that's a Sunday at 6 p.m. We're going to be doing our second live stream partnering with Wolfgar Props. He's sent over a ton of stuff. If you missed our Christmas live stream, we sent over a ton of stuff for us to give away. There's lightsabers. There's a blaster or two. There's some other stuff in there. So we're going to be doing a charity live stream, and we'll be announcing more details as it gets closer. But we're going to be giving away about 3 to 5 items a stream. So it'll be the first one of a few streams that are coming up. So there'll be probably about 3 or 4 streams throughout the year. First one, February 2nd, 6 p.m. EST. You'll get a chance to win some cool props like this Luke Skywalker lightsaber. There's a couple others, some good Legends lightsabers in that pile over there that are really cool. So yeah, bookmark it. Think about it. We're going to be doing a charity live stream all for a good cause. And I want to thank once again the generosity of Wolfgar Props for sending these over for us to give away. That was so kind of them to do. So yeah. All right. Without further ado, let's get into the fan questions. First one, JD Macy. How did Jod get back on the Onyx Cinder? For speed?
I mean, he turns around and he sees it, and the bay door's still open, isn't it? It's taken
I
off?
think so. Yeah. So he just barely has enough time.
Yeah, I think that he could get. Yeah, I think that he could get on there. I mean, he is does have the Force. Yeah,
he does have the Force. Maybe it was Force speed.
Maybe.
There's been a lot of Qui-Gon connections so far with him. So maybe that was another one. And from Darth Christensen, 66, Jod almost went full Anakin on those kids. LOL.
He did. The shot was very similar.
Was that an LOL moment, Darth Christensen? I think it's so funny that like out of all the things in Revenge of the Sith, like it's one of the biggest memes is Anakin murdering children.
I know. It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's pretty consistent. Does it 2 out of the 3 movies.
Oh, right. Yeah. There's I guess that's true, isn't it? I never thought about that. Mm-hmm. There was a shot there.
Can't do it in episode 1 because he is one. Yeah. It's the problem.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. There was a shot that was like directly mirroring that in this when he was with the kids of the lightsaber.
Yeah,
the exact shot.
Oh yeah,
with
Wim. Yeah, or not Wim. Sorry, Neil.
Yeah. I was like, come on, hey, you watch it with Neil.
Mm-hmm.
Jod got to get on the naughty list.
It's true.
So I just thought that was you're right. That's interesting that they directly paralleled that too. Mm-hmm. From Groge 511, hoping to see Stephen Fry as a big talking elephant next week, dude.
He's Wim's dad.
Didn't even think about that. And Wim's dad has been...
Or not Wim, sorry. Neil's
excuse
dad.
me. Yeah, Neil. How could I forget?
Yeah.
How could Neil's dad has been surprisingly absent?
Haven't seen him.
He's not been helping. He's not been helping with the adventure.
Mm-mm.
He was the supervisor. He was Tak Rennod. He was Snowball the whole time.
He's the garbage man.
Yep.
Yeah.
What's that?
He's just a garbage man.
Okay.
Like he picks up the trash.
Okay.
That's what he's out doing. Everybody else is doing. I don't know. I'm just saying that like maybe that's what he does.
He's watching the kids. I think that's the answer.
Oh.
I think that's why he's not there.
Gotcha.
But hey, that's a fun idea though. And from Hungry Bookworm _ what do you think is going to be each kid's hero moment in the finale? Great question. What do you think?
Well, Neil's pretty much forklift certified now, so he's going to do something with it.
That Riz just skyrocketed.
Exactly. Now that he's going to be able to knock the forklift over and that or knock one of the gold things over. It's got all the gold in it. I think KB, you're onto something with KB being able to contact Owl Lady, Kim.
Hey, that wasn't my idea. That was one from the chat.
I'm just throwing that out there. I think they're onto something to contact the New Republic, but I don't know if the New Republic learns about Atton. I think this has to actually stay on planet.
I think there's a possibility this could all end with At Attin being opened up to the world.
Yeah.
I think there's a chance
like Atlantis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, okay, everybody realizes that being under this cover is not good for them.
Or Black Panther.
Yeah, something like that. Sure. I could see that.
Yeah.
But I do think the Kim getting called thing has legs though.
Yeah.
Or wings, perhaps. Next question.
Birds of a feather.
By the way, if you guys in the chat have questions you'd like us to answer, please throw them in the chat and we'll answer those as well. And from Jake Harrison Fain, the lightsaber should have been green. Is the supervisor the big bad we all thought it was? Why do you wish it was green? I'm just curious.
Yeah. I think like since blue's the first lightsaber we saw, I think there's something to that.
The only thing I can think of is wasn't in the in one of the first episodes that
the drawing looks green.
It's green and red, right? So maybe there's a lightsaber duel between the supervisor and Jod.
Maybe
in this last episode. That'd be crazy. I kind of don't want that. I don't want a lightsaber duel.
Yeah, I don't really want one either.
I like that the saber is being used very thematically and has a very particular narrative purpose here. Mm-hmm. I don't think we need a saber duel.
Yeah.
Okay, that was weird. There we go. From IJ Kez, if Jod is truly evil, why hasn't he bled the Kyber crystal?
He's not touching the crystal.
So I did see IJ there had a comment on our reaction video asking this question in a little more depth, and I do think that's a great question. And the main reason, Seth just said it, he's not touching the crystal. So there was a lot of, I know this was a bit of a controversy, if you will, a topic of conversation during the Acolyte is how Osha was able to do it, but why couldn't Anakin do it during his fall to the dark side and during Order 66? And the big thing is because Osha is touching the crystal.
Yeah, the Soul's lightsaber is exposed.
Yes.
Kylo Ren removes the crystal, and that's how he bleeds his crystal and cracks it in the process.
Yep.
Yeah. Anakin, there was no need because, I mean, in his eyes, he's doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
it's
a Jedi's weapon.
I think even if he was touching the crystal, it wouldn't have bled. He's not He's not evil in that sense.
Yeah.
He's greedy. Mm-hmm. And that's like a lesser, it's evil. He's a bad guy.
No,
he's not like.
It's different. Like, it's still evil like Palpatine, but it's different.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
I think it's like.
Layers.
Let me connect it to like Harry Potter, right? How do you create a Horcrux?
You split your soul.
How do you split your soul?
Killing somebody.
You kill somebody, right? It's like it's murderous intent.
Yeah.
Like that has a certain magic to it, a certain force, like dark side energy to it.
Yeah.
Why? How does Osha crack her crystal? She has so much hate in her heart that she's going to kill Soul.
Yeah.
And the same thing with, in every other instance that we see it, like it's hate. It's hate that ultimately, I think, bleeds a crystal.
Yeah.
And I don't think Jod has hate in his heart. He's greedy, and that is driving him to do horrible things.
Yeah. I mean, he definitely resents those kids.
Yeah,
but that's not hatred. I think
it's all to the ends of he wants to get his stuff. He wants to get his plunder.
He's tired of being hungry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's evil in that sense. There's layers to evil, and I don't think that he's not Palpatine evil or like Darth Vader evil. He's greedy evil. He's pirate evil.
Yeah.
Like Barbossa or something, right?
Yeah.
Something like that. Okay. Moving on to the next one. But that is a great question. I know that caused some confusion when the Acolyte rolled around. From Marcus.Katie, man, Jod is such a big old butt face. No heart of gold for this guy, apparently.
I agree wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
Butt face. Good verbiage.
I know. We were all hoping for that heart of gold moment, but it didn't happen.
I don't think it's going to happen.
From the chat from HT Verlag, what if the kids and Jod have to team up to go against the Supervisor? I could see sort of an uneasy alliance thing happening. Like we have to
work together.
Team up.
Yeah. Or the Supervisor is going to just keep running the world or something like that.
Yeah. I'm not sure. He did get in a fight with Greedo in a deleted scene. So technically Seth is on point with the consistency, sort of. Did I miss Anakin? Yeah. That's true.
Yeah. He beat on Greedo. So there you go.
Forgot about that. I was trying to remember. I was like, what comment was that connecting to? That's good stuff. Okay, from old Greg Foskett. Who do you think the Supervisor is? Person we know or a droid? I'm excited to see how it all ends. We'll just rewind the stream a little bit if you want to get my thoughts on who the Supervisor might be. Seth disagreed with all of them, but Snowball. But hey, that's where I'm at with
Snowball's chance.
You don't have any theory about this? You don't have nothing?
I think it's probably a droid. I said that at the top.
Yeah, but you don't think there's anything deeper to it? You don't think there's anything to all of these unanswered questions we've got?
I hope they're not linked. That's the whole thing. Is I hope that like Tak Rennod discovered At Attin and found the perfect way to get on and off of At Attin, but it's he's the master planner, but he did not take into account all the greed of everybody else. That's the whole thing. Is I don't think anybody can actually leave At Attin with the money because that's like its curse or whatever. Okay. I would like something like that. Does that make sense?
So you want the questions answered, just not linked.
Yeah. Yeah, they're all separate things.
So then why hide the face? Why hide the face?
Hondo. So people aren't going, is that my boy Hondo Naka?
Then why make him a weak way?
I don't know, because it looks cool. So he's an alien.
So then why not show the face?
So people didn't lose their minds about Hondo Naka.
This is circular logic, Seth. This is not working. You have to have a solution.
Poetry, it rhymes. A circular fear.
Stop it. Goodness. Not to get on the whole train again, but the thing that's not clicking with me about Tak Rennod just being a pirate who discovered everything.
Yeah.
Is
maybe he worked at Akron at some point or at Attin. Maybe there were Weequay on At Attin at one point.
Or maybe on one of the other planets.
Exactly.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
I don't hate that. The thing that gets me is how does the thing get the At Attin ship? It's armored. So it's been off At Attin for some time. Maybe it's an emissary ship that was then armored to hide its true, guys, whatever. But it's crashed and it stays there in a world that is so meticulously cultivated as At Attin.
Yeah.
Somehow this ship that has some sort of constant communication with the planet because it has to, activate the autopilot sequence, has to get through the barrier. Somehow it crash lands on the planet and it stays there without being excavated, without being put back to wherever it needs to go. How does that happen? That's the one thing that is the biggest wrench into everything.
And that's the mystery.
But you got nothing here?
I don't have any idea, man. I guess I'm just sitting here enjoying it. I haven't really.
I'm still enjoying it too. I'm just trying to come up with ideas.
again, I hope that it's not linked. I hope that it leaves with all the money. Tak Rennod discovers it. He's like, okay, I'm going to play emissary. They go down with armor to get through. Like, he's not 100% sure if the ship can actually get back through. That's why he's got it armored up.
Well, he does know, though, because that's what SM-33 says.
I mean,
like, that was Captain Rennod's genius.
He knew to steal one of their ships.
No, he says that's how he knows to get through the barrier.
Gotcha. So then why have it armored up, and why did Wreck still there with its armor on? Wouldn't it have to not have armor on it?
Well, the why, I think, is just because he was trying to hide it from other pirates and things like that, so they didn't know what it was.
Exactly, but like, how can he re-enter the barrier if it's got all of its armor on it? Then
what do you mean?
It wouldn't be a ship then, or it wouldn't be would it still be recognized as one of their ships?
Of course.
You think so?
They don't. It's not a look thing. Like, nobody's like, wait a minute, that's not it.
Well, but
shoot it down.
Well, we don't know that. That's the whole thing.
It's technology. They're communicating with the ship. Like, we know that in Star Wars, ships have like identification codes and stuff.
Okay, so it lands, right, and then I'm trying to think of timeline here. So they enter. Okay, let's rethink this. So they intercept one of these. They armor it up. They go back down. They think they're going to get off planet, pretending that they're emissaries, and then it wrecks.
That's what I'm saying. Yes,
it doesn't work. I don't understand how it works with it.
I'm saying.
I know. I don't know what to think then, because like the only thing I can think of is that. Well, I think there's got to be a conspiracy there. That's my point. It's like, because they've been very clear how much At Attin is run by these like droids and everything else. Anytime somebody sneezes in the woods, one of those security droids are there. Yeah.
So how does this ship crash so close to residential? But I mean, now maybe the residences weren't there yet. Okay.
Yeah.
But how does it crash there and they not recover it? I think there has to be something. There's some connection between Tak, the supervisor, At Attin as a whole. There's got to be. Otherwise, why does the ship stay there? How does the ship have the access codes, all that stuff to get in through the barrier, land on the planet, all this stuff, but it just crashes on planet and they're like, oh, well, I guess we'll just leave it. It is what it is.
It had to have gotten shot down or something like that,
I do
right?
think your idea that it gets shot down when it's leaving
yes,
is a really good idea.
Yeah.
But then why isn't there money on the ship? I know you said that the droids might have just come on and taken the money, but why do that and not do anything about the ship?
Maybe they felt like there was no need. I don't have any idea. But like, SM-33 was trashed. Everybody else is a skeleton. Like, that's a long time.
I know, but I'm just saying
a long time.
I know, I get it. I'm just saying there's a missing piece. It doesn't add up.
Yeah.
There's something there that doesn't work. And so that's why I'm trying, to pitch some theories, and you're just being like, I don't know. I don't. No, it's fine if you don't know. I'm just saying
I got nothing, man. I'm sorry. I got nothing. I'm just excited to see how it all ends.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that sounds so lame.
No, it's not.
Like, it's just like
you're acting like that's not how I feel. You're killing me. Okay, next question. We're going to move on to the big questions. All right, for Pro Jason Wingard, look at Little Wim Jr. Gonna cry? Yeah. From PTR WMM, why are the security droids so friggin' useless? Feels like lazy writing for the first time in Skeleton Crew. I don't know. That's where I'm at too, where it's like, why not do like...
Has anybody ever actually stepped out of line?
I don't know.
That's question. The whole thing.
Yeah.
I mean, they are quite jittery. I don't think they get used very often. I think that they're more kind of just a threat, but they don't actually have to do stuff.
That's why I wonder if there's not at least something to the fact that the story was created to keep the people in line.
Yeah.
Because again, there was other stuff like At Attin was defeated by an uprising,
Yeah.
What's preventing the people of At Attin from uprising?
Do they not know any better?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe, but you would have to presume that also the people on At Attin didn't know anything different either.
Yeah.
What caused them to uprise?
Yeah.
So I wonder if the story of the pirates was
maybe they ran out of gold.
Who at Attin?
No, the other one.
They could have run out of gold, but then why would they revolt because of that?
Maybe they didn't revolt. Maybe everyone picked up shop and left. And then it was left. They were just left to their own devices, and then civil war.
Maybe.
Because I mean, civilization was there. There's a merry-go-round. You don't just build a merry-go-round.
It's just another unanswered question. I think is going to fit into this puzzle. Is why was there an uprising there, but there's not an uprising on At Attin?
Yeah,
and I think one possible answer is that the story was created, the story of Tak and the pirates to keep the people in line.
Gotcha.
Something like that. From Graham here, it crashed on the way in. SM-33 mentioned, I think, the captain crashing the ship into the planet to kill them all when that's true. That's true. There is that piece of information. It crashed on the way in. But
SM-33 is not a reliable narrator, though.
That's also true.
Yeah.
That's a great point, Graham. I'm glad you brought this up. So
yeah, he set in its coordinate. Okay, never mind. Because I thought that he set in the docking sequence. No, he didn't.
I would have thought that it was just before the planet had an autopilot landing sequence. But they say that it's the same on At Attin. And presumably that was destroyed before Tak Rennod ever made it to At Attin.
Yeah.
So these systems had to have been put in place long before. So that's another wrench here, is that if they crashed on their way in, again, we have the same question as to why.
Maybe the armor is why they crashed.
Just maybe one. Yeah. Maybe Tak Rennod had this genius idea, but then armored it up to hide his ship.
And didn't realize that.
So maybe that.
So he steals it, thinking it's all right. They'll let us back in. He mutiny. He locks in, knowing that they're gonna die. But they didn't get blown up though. They made it through the barrier and it wrecked.
The big thing here is we don't have an autopilot landing sequence. It could just be as simple as they deactivated it.
Yeah, but and then didn't he set in the coordinates, whatever, to crash it into the planet? That's what he just said.
Maybe. I'm not sure the actual dialogue there. If anybody knows, hit us up here, because that's a great question. That is a great piece of information, though. It crashed on its way in. So maybe it was the armor, but they definitely still made it through the barrier. Yeah. Again, another wrench.
I know. So many mysteries.
Another wrench.
Yeah.
And our final question here from Rippick_Tan. Just such a wild place to be in the story. No idea as what's to come. And that seems to be kind of the message here from us. No idea.
We don't. I don't have a clue.
Yeah.
It's okay.
But I can tell you, I'm going to be 100% there on Tuesday when 9 o'clock rolls around, on the edge of my seat, waiting to see what happens.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point too, right there.
What?
The kids couldn't have left if the security system knew.
Kids couldn't have left the planet.
Because it still had all of its armor on it.
I got to think about that. The kids couldn't have left the planet.
They couldn't left the planet originally because it had its armor still on it. So it couldn't be something that that it wrecked.
Why not though?
If the planet doesn't recognize it or something like that.
But I'm saying, let's say it can. Why can't they leave?
Because we had kind of theorized that it couldn't, that it didn't recognize, because you and I were talking about that it could have, that it wrecked because of the armor.
I know, but let's say it could.
Then it could win, or then it could leave.
Because it did leave. That's what I'm saying. Is so.
No, it did leave. Yeah, that's the whole thing.
Couldn't an emissary do that anyway? Couldn't an emissary ship just leave?
Probably.
What would they do? They wouldn't try to shoot it down.
No.
And again, rolling with this idea that it's all run by droids anyway.
Yeah.
They're going to see an emissary ship leaving and it's not going to ping anything on there.
No.
Maybe that's why it left. Maybe that's why it was able to leave, is because it is an emissary ship.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think that's a great point, HC Verlag, but I think that they could still leave even with the armor on. Yeah. That's at least where I'm at with it. You don't think so?
Yeah, I mean, I think that it. I'm going with him. I mean, we gotta go with SM-33's kind of a reliable narrator. I think that they got through the barrier and then they wrecked. That Tak Rennod was killed before the ship even got to the barrier.
Yeah. Yeah. So the mutiny happens before they enter the barrier. They enter the barrier and crash. But it would be destroyed though. I don't think that's true.
Why?
Every other ship we've seen has been destroyed. Why
couldn't the ship get through the barrier? It still looks like a ship from At Attin or At Attin.
I know, but you were just saying that's because they don't recognize the ship.
I know. I thought that. Yeah, I know. I think that's what he was saying, is like it was back to our conversation earlier when we were kind of talking
I know,
about that.
I'm rolling it back around.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So if it does recognize it entering the barrier.
Yeah, then it can leave. Yeah, I know. I think he was talking about earlier when we were talking about that. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so they're asking about a live stream watch party. I don't know. Is that something you guys want? A watch party?
It's a lot of moving parts, but
it wouldn't be hard. We could do it if you want. I'll leave it up to Seth. It's all on him.
Does the chat want it? Give me an eye.
Give us an eye in chat if you want watch party. We'll have to put the little timer thing at the bottom, but we could do it. Start like a half hour early or something. Maybe 15 minutes, something like that.
Someone gave us a nay.
Nay from Ms. Honey. Hey, well, she's been on my side this whole time. Or they've been on my side this whole time.
We got some pizza rolls.
Yeah, some pizza rolls in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like the eyes have it.
Okay.
So we'll plan on it. All
right.
Be on the lookout for it. Hopefully we'll do it. If not, if something comes up or whatever, we'll always have.
But the only reason I have dinner with my folks on Tuesdays, but we'll make it work. It'll be all right.
So hey, there we go. I just couldn't see the profile pic there. That was the only reason. I was like, wait, there we go. Ms. Honey, Thank you. Appreciate it. All right. Well, that about wraps up our discussion, episode 7.
Yes.
Of Skeleton Crew.
Mm-hmm.
Looking forward to the finale.
Yeah, it's going to be a good time.
So, hey, we will be seeing you hopefully on Tuesday for a live watch party. And then, of course, we're going to be seeing you next Friday, God willing.
Yes.
Any other hiccups, weather or other things.
Supposedly there's another snowstorm.
Oh.
Supposedly.
Well, that should be fun. Yes. So hopefully we'll see you this Friday at 6 p.m. EST, the same Dune time, but it's definitely going to be in the same Dune channel, Seth.
Oh, you better believe it's going to be Dune in time.
Guys, thank you for being in the stream. We will see you next week.